dive into this discussion.
All right, so let me know when you guys are ready. I got some stuff to speak to. And yeah, if you want us to, we can watch an episode of whatever you haven't actually watched. I'm ready to share my screen with Crunchyroll,
Hmm
so y'all let me know.
Oh yeah, we could do it. Yeah, we could do it like a watch along sometime.
Are you guys keeping
Cool.
up with slime?
Yes.
I just saw today the last episode.
Okay. I was
At
actually
this point,
watching it
uh
while I was waiting for the meeting to start.
okay,
Yeah.
the very last one.
Yeah, the
Mhm.
most recent one. The
What are your
dungeon
thoughts?
one.
What are your thoughts on the whole season itself? But I'm not gonna say one episode because one episode is like it really doesn't amount to nothing. It's more meetings and more stuff and that.
Mhm.
So, what is your thoughts of season? This is season three, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Season
Yeah.
three, slime, whatever. Because I don't even know the names no more. They have slime diary, slime song. Anyway,
Yeah. Yeah.
That time I
remove
got
done.
reincarnated as a slime.
The time that
Yeah.
I'm
That
reincarnated.
time I got reincarnated as a slime.
All right.
So essentially, it's a story of that
Yeah.
time I got reincarnated as a slime. He's telling the story. Um, you know, we had a big problem with the first half of the season
hmm
because it was like 6 episodes of just meetings and meetings and Zoom meetings.
Could have been
Essentially,
an email.
it
Right.
could have been an email. It
Yeah.
could have been an email. It could have been a recap episode, like a cheap recap episode, like that. Like season 3, episode 0, where they just
Right. Yeah.
recapped everything that happened.
That's what
We
they
didn't.
did in that first episode.
Yeah, but then we saw everybody reacting to
Right.
the events of last season. It's like, did we need to see every single minor character and or group of new characters
Yeah. Like.
react? It was like a reaction video to last season. 6 episodes of reaction videos to last season. And
Mhm.
like I get why they thought that would be a good idea, but it wasn't. It didn't make for entertaining television.
I don't get why that was a good idea. You gotta put all
And
those
then
episodes in a 45 minute movie. Give give me that for like
Yeah.
and then
they
make
could have
me
done
in
that.
suspense for like I don't know 3 months, and after that you give me the good stuff. You know,
Yeah.
And then the good stuff, the second half of the first half of the third season, uh, where everything finally plays out, I thought was a little disappointing. We saw the battles
Yeah.
that went on for a few episodes, and we
Uh,
knew it was like all set up by the seven
the
whatever the seven guys.
seven holy dudes or whatever.
Yeah,
7 days. I think the 7 days.
hmm
Mhm.
yeah. It
the
was
seven
their
days
scheme.
clergy.
hmm
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, it was their scheme to cause this conflict, this rift between you know
Kata
Tempest,
and
yeah, Tempest and the rest of the people.
uh,
And yeah, I mean, they just essentially Rimuru. They didn't want him having that level of power,
mhm.
a monster nation having that level of power, and so it was kind of like subterfuge on both sides. Rimuru was being pretty honest, and these 7 days guys kind of like came up with their own conspiracy. And the way it played out, I was like, And then the second half of the third season, I
Mhm.
think has been a little bit better paced. Stuff has been happening, but I remember that both you and Alberto felt like this kind of reminds me of Mushko Tensei, where it's like there's no action adventure. This is all kind of like slice of life in preparation for the festival.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
which I
is.
enjoyed, but it wasn't like previous seasons where you had more action. This just felt like, like a high school comedy preparing for the festival, you know?
It felt to me like an anime mentary. You know how they have that off that other show, the Slime Diaries, where
Yeah.
he's storytelling how he built the nation, stuff like that.
Mhm.
I feel
Yeah.
like those episodes could have been included on Slime Diaries,
Yeah.
as
Mhm.
we finished what we wanted to see you. So let me give you a little bit of what happened between that, right? To give me, oh, they have more stuff, right? And instead of giving it to me on a regular season,
I
and
actually
that's
double
why.
checked.
Go ahead.
I double checked to make sure I wasn't watching the Slime Diaries season two
Yeah, it kind of
because
looks
that's
like
what it
that.
felt like. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what it felt. I'm like, wait, am I watching the third
Mm.
season or am I watching the second season of the Slime Diaries? Because
no,
it
it
felt
was.
so similar and so much like that daily episodic thing where I'm like,
Mhm.
wait, yeah,
No,
It feels like it should have been in Jack's slice of life.
vending machine corner, yeah.
probably one of his best, but not best, but top
Yeah.
10 list or something.
Yeah.
Well,
No, but
this is his fifth honorable mention,
Yeah.
giving him 15 instead of 10.
Yeah. No,
no,
but
but it's still
it's his
disappointing to me.
favorite isekai slice of life.
His
Yes.
favorite isekai class,
Yeah.
that's nice. But it's still disappointing to me in my opinion. It's still
Mhm.
going through emotion. Even the last episode didn't amount to much, nothing to be honest. I'm getting more action out of Fatal Frame, the low level spells anime thingy, because at
Mhm.
least it goes towards the point. And I know we get into that last episode. Because every other anime now is 12 episodes. I know it's coming, but at least on these 12 episodes, I got a little bit of something in the action. In his purpose is the same from the first episode to the 12th. And the way that he made it seem is like, oh, you thought I was gonna be like this? No, I'm gonna be like that. And
Mhm.
he kills everybody, right? But that's what something I was expecting out of life in reincarnated as a slime, right? And from the writers of Rimworld, but guess we're not getting that.
Did not get that at
No.
all. It was I think my biggest disappointment. First of all, I didn't read the manga, but I could see how this plays out better reading it than watching it. Um, and I think they just went overboard. Like I think everybody likes the world building that's going on in the show,
Yeah.
but they just gave you a lot of world building and a lot of meetings and a lot of talking and nothing else. There's got to be some conflict, and I'm cool with getting the inner turmoil of the conflict. But then when you get to the big fight, it's a fart in the wind. It's like, all right, him Hinata, they're going to go at it. They wipe out all of the other people like very quickly, and then it's just like, oh no, well we figured out.
Which is crazy because it started as a Dungeon and Dragons type anime. Now it's,
Mhm.
like you guys mentioned, it's a slice of life comedy romantic, I would say, type thing. Yeah.
Even
Yeah,
yeah,
there was a little bit of
I
romance
don't know.
this season.
there's a
And
lot
I
of
don't
them.
know. Yeah, and then I don't know if you guys noticed, but even the evil guy that is a Japanese, he was a Japanese dude. They never explain how they now are buddies, like how they're friends. They
Well,
never
they
explain.
met in the first season, and nobody knows that he's evil. It's kind of like he's hiding the fact that he's like the evil one.
Yeah, but they met, right? But they never. Okay, so how we gonna get together and stuff like that? Because he has in somewhat uh you know uh because they were talking about and something about one of the episodes this season. He was talking about like there was a misunderstanding with this guy instead of this guy is just plainly evil because he knew that he was the guy who was controlling the clowns, right? Um,
Mhm.
No,
but
we know, but Rimuru
Oh
doesn't.
yeah,
We
now I
know.
gotta I gotta rewatch it then. Maybe the
Yeah.
second
yeah.
season
I,
just
I
twice.
think that's something that they showed us. Viewer knows, but I don't think Rimuru got that
Nobody knows because they would have taken him out. They would have fight him. They would have fought him.
in.
The kids would have fought him. The teachers would have fought him. Everybody would have fought this guy if they knew that he was in charge of the clowns.
I gotta watch because I probably missed that part. But other than that,
Well,
it
see,
was
that's
for
one of the
me.
things that made it confusing
Yeah,
because,
it was confusing to me. I was like, how is
well,
this
yeah,
guy evil and now he's his friend? Like that
well, because
made no sense to me.
there's stuff that we know that
Mhm.
other people don't know, and that's what I think they were trying to show us with all the meetings. Is
Okay.
like, oh, hey, we know what's going on, but all these other people aren't sure, and so they're finding out stuff that we already know because we watched the entire season.
Because
But
they gave us everybody's perspective on things.
yeah,
If you don't show us that perspective,
everybody.
if you don't show us what's going on with, like the clergy and like that nation, that had that understanding with them, then we're just like Rimuru. We're like, all right, what's going on? We can get more invested if you don't show us what's going. You take the 2-3 episodes to show us all of them getting together and colluding. I don't need to see that. When you show me that, I know, but he doesn't know. So now I got to go through this story of him finding out. It's fluffing stuff up way too much.
Yeah.
Way too much.
I
I
would
felt like
say
it was a lot of filler.
yeah,
It's like
definitely is.
getting a burrito with a bunch of beans and lettuce and rice, sour cream,
Sour cream.
tomatoes,
Black
and
olives.
it's like, where's the meat?
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's a small
Like all
layer
this,
at the
where's
all
bottom.
this vegetable, but where's the
yes,
actual substance? Like,
where?
Yeah.
we need
That's
the
what this
protein.
season was. It was a burrito with a bunch of filling and no meat.
Yeah. And it wasn't even deep fried. So it's like, what's the point of this?
The only thing I would say that I did like about it is just the trope of the perspective. Like everything was happening at the same time. You know how they gave you one episode and then the other one was this was happening at the same time. This was happening, and then you did kind of had those perspectives. I like that trope because it kind of like makes you understand everything together a little bit. But other than that, it's like it could have been an email. Could have been an email.
Yeah.
I do like the dungeon creation and like his
Yeah, that
Yes.
part was
plans for his
You know
plan
what?
his yeah.
And that kind of like, because I watched that Dungeon People show on High Dive.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was watching that and I was watching Slime, it was like I was watching the same show. It
That's
Yeah.
was like
crazy.
I was watching the same show because it's the same
Essentially.
sort of thing going on. It's just like you said, like with Slime, it wouldn't have been bad. Like this was a 24 episode,
That's a
and
lot of episodes.
y'all could have got all this done in 6 tops. And then the stuff I
Easily.
wanted to see, you didn't
Easily.
show it to me. Like when he sent Diablo out to like wipe out that nation, I want to see that.
I want to
Why
see
didn't
that.
you show me that?
Yeah. Yeah.
All you showed me is him saying, "All right, go do this," and then he comes back and he's like, "It's done."
And it took him what, like a week or something?
I wanted to see that.
Yeah.
I
It's like,
want to see Diablo run crazy over a nation.
which is crazy to me because this other girl, the other leader from that Sky Empire, one
Yeah,
of the things that she said, "Oh, do you have this guy control?" And it was like as soon as he got like, because this guy ain't no good guy, and you're like, "No, he only control. Don't worry about it. He's like a dog."
yeah,
Veldora,
So
yeah.
yeah.
yeah,
Veldora the Storm Dragon. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
either
did. You know
so
what? I also did not like how they did Beldora this. They just made him a complete joke.
they defanged him real
Yeah,
bad. Yeah, it's
yeah,
like yeah. I
But he been like that for a while now.
yeah.
Because remember,
I'm
he didn't have
okay.
because he didn't have no friend while he was in the cage. So he
Right.
understand in order to survive as a monster and as a possible citizen of that world, he needed to convey his feelings to another person, monster, whatever, right? So from the beginning, his story was like, yeah, you're all powerful, but at the same time, you need to know how to survive, how to coexist. So the
Mm-hmm.
only one who can technically match up to his power because he absorbed him is technically Rimuru, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the way for him to show to the other people that the way that he is as a human, right? Because remember he was also inside Rimuru for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
he what I believe that happens too because he was inside of Rimuru. He got all that funny side from Rimuru too. Like as soon as you get split and then
Mm-hmm.
you not only you get a body, your power and whatnot, but also you get like the attitude and stuff like someone else. So I see it like how Vegeta and Goku used to fusion and both
Yeah.
characters and attitudes were inside there.
Yeah.
it's kind of like the same thing. You got a little bit of it. It's like now I'm like a baby of you or something. What or something.
No, Bocho, you're giving them way too much credit.
Yeah, I guess I
You're giving
am, but
way too much credit. This is just lazy. This is like an anime
probably
trope.
really, yeah,
Yeah,
Mhm.
this is an anime trope where you take the villain and you turn him essentially into like, like
a
he said, oh,
clown.
he's like a puppy, he's like a
Yeah,
puppy now. He's like you don't have to worry about him. He's under
There's
control.
one thing that I was like, I don't know how this is going to work. So they had it's weird. I get it, but because he's basically powering the dungeon, right? Because
Well,
Rimuru was like,
his magicules. He's not powering the dungeon. The dungeon's there. His magicules are creating. So what happens is when they collect, you
right,
get monsters. You
right,
get
right,
different things happen
right,
because
right.
he's generating so much magical
Mhm.
energy, the magicules, that like monster. That's part of the thing about the forest
Right,
of Jura, where you didn't have as many monsters because he was keeping Veldora's energy
right.
under control. But now that Valdora has released it in the dungeon, you have all
Creating
these
the monsters.
monsters. Hmm.
Right. But my thing is like, all right, so I guess I'm just interested in how long they last, right? Because like he's going to really, because he's like, well, if you ever need to, get that aggression out or whatever, just go in here.
Yeah.
So he's like, just let loose. But who's
Which
going to make it that far down so he can let loose?
it's not his aggression, it's his aura.
Is all
Like,
right,
remember, he had to make it smaller
right, right,
because
right.
it was just terrifying people.
Yeah.
So he had to kind of like lock it all in, and
also,
then down there he can just let it all out.
I don't know if you remember, but
That didn't sound right.
I'm sorry. Also, I don't know if
All
you
right.
remember, right?
City's locked up.
Pause. Okay, let's
There you
continue.
go.
Uh, so I don't know if you guys remember, but I think it was on first season. At some point, they mentioned that even demon lords were not messing up basically Veldora itself. Like they were not engaging on him. They would just let him be
Yeah.
because they cannot
Mhm.
they could not control him. So that's why all these demon lords now are friends of Rimuru because he was the only person successfully who was able to uh domicile. I don't know how you say it, docile, uh,
Domesticated.
domesticate Veldora, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
So because the demon lords were not active looking at fight with him, now that he's on this dungeon and releasing all of this, you still have the demon lords that
Mhm.
potentially you can see fight between them because now you have a catastrophe level dragon
Yeah.
getting his power out the way that he can in order to fight the way that he is able to,
Mhm.
So it would be interesting to see some of these other demon lords that we only see as the
Mhm.
face, like the red guy. I don't remember his name, and that he's one of the beast keepers too, as
Yeah.
well.
I know you're talking about.
So yeah, so carry on itself. He wasn't able
Yeah.
to like really put himself out there because of that. And
No, Carrion is it. He
He
was in the
works for,
tournament.
yeah.
Carrion was in the tournament. He was the
he was
lion guy.
determined, but he could not.
Yeah.
He would was not able to use his actual powers.
Right.
Remember?
He did. He like
Yeah.
he managed it. He managed.
Correct. And Milim himself, we haven't actually seen Milim fight to her full potential. We
No,
only
we
have
have.
seen a little bit because of that fight that he had with this other demon lord that died.
Yeah.
Well, guys,
We saw her like show like how powerful she was, but we didn't see the full.
correct, yeah.
Except who's
Well,
it?
she
Is it the?
essentially destroyed the Beast People
Yeah.
city, right? Nation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
When
yeah.
she
That's
was
how.
acting like she was under the control of that thing,
Mhm.
she pretty much destroyed that entire nation. And I don't think that's one of the things that was really addressed.
Oh.
So do you so he essentially turned Valdora into a theme park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
Technically,
just love who's is it the vampire demon that just can't stand him? and,
yeah.
Yeah.
and it's just
Was she
poking at him every time.
was she kind of like started to appreciate him now that he's like made with Shion and the Shion and who's
The
the other
food,
girl? Yeah, when they were
tuna.
performing, yeah, at the theater that he
Yeah,
made,
yeah,
she was kind of like, "Oh, okay,
yeah, yeah,
maybe I can give you some credit because this is actual culture and
yeah.
not your ridiculousness."
And
Yeah.
I think she wanted to send people there to research the
Hmm.
I like that
culture,
part.
and
That part for me is
that was
amazing.
good.
Someone
Yeah,
who understands love art.
yeah.
I was so fascinated to see Chion and her sister
Tuna.
basically playing the piano and then playing the
Mm,
violin. For me, that was a a, a great asses of a nation. It's like
mm,
you need not only put these people, humans and monsters together, but you're also building a culture within them and let them know that they do have music, they read, they have
mm,
education. So that part is kind of like you. I like the building part a little bit because it's like you're developing all these people in a certain way that you say, okay, so now between the monsters they are combining because you saw the little goblin combining now with Ranga.
manga. Yeah,
Yeah. So
That was
that
really
part was
cool.
that
yeah,
was
that for me
awesome.
was the for me because it's like okay, now we have fusions. Now that's getting a little bit interesting. So
I don't think
I don't
it was. Was it a fusion?
Yeah,
it was a fusion because something
they leveled.
about
He leveled up.
yeah.
He leveled up. He gained a new skill, and his
Because
new
remember
skill was to join, or he you. So essentially,
Summoned him, right?
what happened is because
Ranga
Ranga. So
wanted to fight,
well, yeah.
he summoned himself to the summon of the
Yes,
goblin.
yeah. He
Well,
summoned. Yeah,
he inserted himself into Gapta's
right,
summon.
That's
So when
yes.
he did
right,
that,
right,
he made himself. They both gained a skill
right,
where they could
right,
fuse.
right, right.
The
Yeah,
fusion.
Forgot about that second part. I'm
yeah,
like, hey, he summoned him, but then I forgot.
yeah, which was really cool.
That was cool.
Yeah.
That was cool. I mean, the little yeah, and the fight thing would have been fun if they like gave me more of it. It was just kind of like, here
I
this is
agree.
going on, and
The competition, yeah.
you wanted
Well,
to see
because
it,
the competition wasn't really the point of that competition wasn't really the competition. It was
right?
more for Rimuru to show things off and for
Yeah,
him to get to know who the hero was and like
right,
what kind of a threat he posed. And so and it was part of his nation building.
right,
So it was like we're watching kind of like we're watching it from a different perspective than we would have in any other show. Because in any other show, you wouldn't be watching a tournament from the people running the tournament or staging the tournament. You'll be watching it from the competitor's point of view. You know what I'm
I get
saying?
that. I get
Yeah.
that, and I don't care. I wanted to see it. I haven't gotten enough action this season. Let me see some action.
This is
Like,
not an action show
imagine being
anymore.
one of those 100,000 people in the stands, and that's what you saw. How would you feel?
You know what's the problem with that, Jamal? That this part of the season was an advertisement. So you need to buy the game or
Yeah,
the actual season to actually get
yeah.
the fight, you know?
Everything
Uh,
actually happens in the game, Jamaal. That's what it is. So yeah.
you only got a trial, you know? This is
Yeah.
only a trial, you know?
We'll see because they have so many like so there's two things. Like either this season could have been really, really short, or
Mhm.
this season could have been an entire anime by itself because you have so much going on and so much that happens off screen that we want to see that we don't get to see. I don't know who that ninja guy is who keeps disappearing, but sometimes I want to follow him and
Right.
see like
See
what
what
he's
he's
doing.
doing.
Yeah, it's like you want to follow these characters and see what they're doing. They did that when like he went to the mountain and it turned out that now he's engaged to be married.
Mhm.
um so that was kind of cool to see where it's like, oh, this has nothing to do with Rimuru. We're seeing what the other characters are doing. I think I kind of wish there was more of that because I think if there was more of that, we'd see more intrigue, more like conflict, and more battles, really, because you
Mhm.
have these misunderstandings all over the place. So you're going to see more cool fights, but we didn't get a lot of that because the focus was so much on getting everything together, building the dungeon,
Mm.
building this, building that. It's like the
Recruiting this
festival
person
arc.
to do this, recruiting this person to do that. I need
Yeah.
you to be the business manager. I need you to run a restaurant. I need you to stop
Mhm.
sending people to do stuff and not let me see them do it.
Yeah.
That's all
We
I'm
don't
saying.
we don't
And,
see it
and,
That's
at all.
all I'm saying.
and
Like there's
pinpointing that to what Edwin says. You know who I really miss? Gabriel. Gabriel.
Yeah,
Gab.
yeah.
He
He
was
was
he's
the
a
he
funny.
was the comedy
scientist
too.
now.
Right,
He's
right.
yeah, like
He's a scientist now. How is Gabiru
relax.
a scientist now?
I got
It's
no
like
idea.
I did like the return of his little fan club.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was
Yeah,
funny.
That was funny. Yeah.
that was
That
funny.
was funny.
Yeah, yeah,
That was funny. That
yeah.
was
But
funny.
I don't know how he ended up being a scientist. It's like yeah. That
But
was a
I
weird
like
choice.
it was a
Mhm.
weird choice, but I did like it that they give him something else than just being there. I want to be an actor. I want to be like, be in the spotlight, right?
Hmm.
Because in the reality, the character was only like, he's strong technically on the lizard man. He's
Mhm.
actually he's just a little bit stronger because she was able to evolve into a demi-human, right? But I guess that they're trying to develop him to be that part. Hopefully they maybe I'm giving too much credit to the writers again. Hopefully they use that as a scientist mind to evolve him into a demi-humans eventually on the next seasons or maybe fourth, fifth. But
I don't
oh,
think they need to, but they could. I like that everybody gets an arc on this show. That's
Mhm.
one of the cool things about it. Everybody gets an arc. Everybody gets something to do. We don't see them doing it, but they all have something to do and they're all doing something and they're all like evolving in certain ways. Like Alberto brought up Ranga and Gapta, like like hey, they're changing and like they're not the same
Mhm.
people that they were at the beginning of the show, toward the end of the show, the middle of the show, the end of the show. These are all different, like more powerful iterations or more interesting iterations of who they were from the beginning of the show to now. Yeah. So that's
Good.
that's a, that's a positive for the show.
Yeah, the show has it had its positives. It had its positives. I mean, the little interplay between the characters was kind of fun too. Like seeing Shion and Diablo kind of to be number two, and how
That
Rimuru,
rivalry, yeah,
yeah, and
yeah,
then Rimuru's like, I need the Great Four, and he was like, I really just wanted to keep them up. I didn't know it was going to become this big thing.
yeah, yeah,
And then it was just having them give these people these little assignments, like the Tinkerbell Demon Lord that had to create the dungeon, and give him a place to stay, and like there was a lot of good world building in
yeah.
it, and they did, and like you said, they kept bringing back characters from before, and it's like, oh, okay, I remember that guy, I know that guy, so it's like I there was good parts to it. It's just you gave me way too much of this and not enough of the action. You
Yeah.
got to give me something, build towards something. You built towards that fight between him and Hinata. You saw the first one. I'm expecting some knockout, drag out battle, and it was not that. And so it's just like this was that this was the action that you were waiting that I was waiting
It was a real
for.
letdown, not only in the battle itself. We knew it wasn't going to really be a battle.
Right.
We knew because we knew this was all misunderstandings generated by the 7 days people.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that first battle between them was so epic. And
Yeah.
so we were literally afraid for Rimuru. I'm like, whoa,
Mm-hmm.
but the stakes and the animation just didn't seem to be on par with
Right.
that in this battle. Yeah.
And
She just
that was the issue I had with the first season. I'm like, there's no stakes for Remy. And then we got him wiping everybody out, becoming a demon lord. It's like, okay. And you have these issues going on where there should be some stakes, and it's not. Like
mm-mm,
episode when they couldn't pay the merchants. Because they're like, we have these um whatever the coins were, the scarlet coins or whatever, and they're like, they cost too much money. Nobody's gonna take that.
yeah.
And then they're
Nobody's
like,
gonna
well,
use those, yeah.
yeah, exactly. They're like, well, we have carrying stuff, but they're like that stuff isn't worth it.
No.
So it's just like, how are we going to pay him? And Shion is just like, play by our rules. They're here, and it's just like that was it. That was it. He's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. We
Like,
can't let them push us over. And it's just like that's how you solve the problem. I'm like, all right, we got something here, and everything was just like,
Not only that, but they asked for loans too.
yeah,
Oh yeah, that's still not enough. Give me $100, and then I'll got you for the next time. It's
yeah,
mm-hmm.
like
it's like maybe, yeah. No, between and if the stakes weren't high, if you thought the stakes weren't high in the first season, now
Right.
they're just like there's nothing because
There's nothing.
between him, Diablo, and Shion, I don't see and Beldora. Come
No.
on, who's gonna
like this,
who's
we
gonna
got
come up against them?
all four catastrophe level type demons
Yeah.
Yeah,
together on the same nation. It's like, yeah,
And
I
Mealy
don't know.
miss, and he's aligned with Mealy.
Yeah, exactly. So
He just wants to play. He gave her a whole nation. So it's like this dude is he's untouchable.
he he gave Gupta and Ranga to Milling. And it's
Yeah,
like, oh yeah, I'll take them. Don't worry about
to
it. And he was
train,
like,
it's like here
yeah,
right.
you go, see you.
that's how confident he is that she's not gonna do nothing to them other than trade them. You
Yeah.
know. So it's like for me, it's like, so you gonna just leave one of your best guys just to go
Mhm.
just because? And so that's how he's just like, yeah, I can't. They can take it. Don't worry about it. Just leave it. He just don't want that around because he just want to be like resting, like taking
Mhm.
his little tea and stuff. So
And that was the and that's the thing. It's like the political space is the only place where Rimuru is vulnerable. That's the only place where we really can, cause some trouble for him. And it's just like, oh, that's it, man. Just brush it off. I'm gonna
Like
take you from
we'll
this
do things.
nation over here.
Yeah.
You that generated all this money. I'm just gonna take you. Just come over here with me. Okay.
Well, you would think that you would see at this point that because of these things, anybody would see him as a threat.
Right.
They would see,
Absolutely.
like anybody looking at this on paper would be like, he's got a primordial demon,
Mm-hmm.
he's got Shion, he's got the chaos level storm dragon, he's a demon lord now. It's like if he decides to go bad, it's gonna be bad, and then
Yeah.
he's strengthening everybody else, and then he's got Tinkerbell, he's got Millimine, he's got all these people who essentially can lay waste to nations on his side. It's like either you're going to be friends with him or you're going to think, okay, how much time before this guy comes along and takes over. But not only and it's not only and so he has that as powerful as he is, but at the same time you have him politically making moves, and then you have him trying to make things where it's like everybody will want this. Like the ramen restaurants and all the other little modifications and improvements that he's making in daily life. Like, oh, these are things that other countries and other nations are going to want. And even if they don't want them, their people might want them. And then that's going to cause disruptions within another nation. Because if I'm the king of a nation and I don't want to deal with Rimuru, one of my dukes or one of my lords might say, "Hey, well, the people want these improvements, so let me
Right.
get in there and cause a revolution." Like, "Hey, the king doesn't want you to have this." Yeah,
Yeah, it's essentially like giving Donald Trump, Goku, Sailor Moon, One Punch Man,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
like all these people.
yeah.
It's like, yeah, do what you want.
It's like, how are we supposed to beat this guy?
Disaster.
Yeah,
This worldwide disaster.
yeah,
I get it. I get it.
yeah. Let's see what happens. I mean, it was. I'd say I enjoyed the second half way more than the first half,
Absolutely. I think so.
but for very different reasons. For not slime reasons, but just because it was fun to watch.
Yeah.
Not that it made slime a better show, just that it was okay. This is fun. Yeah, it
I
was
agree.
entertaining.
It was entertaining enough. It was
Yeah.
entertaining enough. Um, it was a little better for me to kind of binge than to watch week to week.
Okay. Yeah.
I watched it week to week. I was kind of like I got a little frustrated at,
I can see that. Yeah.
but once I like let a few weeks go by and I watched them back to back, I'm like, oh. So we've talked before about how sometimes binging is better, sometimes week to week is better. For this one, it was definitely much better to binge this.
Yeah. Um, what happened for me, because so much carries over into like the next episode.
Yeah.
It's not one of those shows where each episode is standalone. Uh, each episode builds into what's happening in the next episode, and so it's like it's this constant continuation where if you stop watching, all of a sudden, where yeah, you're like, okay, I'm left with a bunch of questions.
Hmm.
What's going to happen next? And then you have to wait a whole week and then you watch it. Luckily, I had a whole bunch of other anime I was watching, so
Yeah.
I could do that. But I also stopped and I did binge like 6 episodes. So yeah, because I had stopped watching for a while. And I said, all right, I'm caught up on everything else because I actually got caught up on that. I finally watched the second season as a surprise catch up, the second season of Goblin Slayer, or I mean,
Hmm.
yeah, Goblin Slayer, which I really enjoyed too, which was kind of similar to this season of that time I got reincarnated as a slime, where the entire focus of the season isn't on just goblin slaying. There
Hmm.
were other things going on. I mean, there's goblin slaying in every episode, but like you saw like a little bit more fun. There was a wedding, there was different things going on, even though he just wanted the goblins. I love that they literally had to tell him, "Oh, those are sea goblins," in order to get him to fight. He's like, "There were no goblins." He said that like 5 times. She kept saying, "So how'd it go?" There were no goblins. And then the creatures, there were no goblins. What about the other creature? He can't describe any creature. He
Hmm.
cannot remember the name of any creature other than goblins. It's like he has no bandwidth. Like there was a sea serpent, and he's like, is it a fish or is it a snake? And I
Come on.
love I love when he sees the dinosaur and thinks it's an elephant.
Mm.
Yeah, that it was a really well seeing him laugh, especially after that first season was like, wow, I needed that episode. Yeah, yeah, that was that was incredible. Yeah.
While we're waiting on Alberto, we'll drop this in. All right. So, not so surprised catch up. I'm all caught up on Dangers in My Heart. This
Oh,
season
nice.
did complete season two. Um,
What were your thoughts?
we did season one last time we checked, if I'm not mistaken. There's a season two. I thought it was cool. Um, I thought this was a little. In some ways, I liked it better than the season one. In some ways, I thought season one was a little better.
Okay.
Um, you got a little more backstory, so I was able to understand the characters a little more, and I was able to understand how they could come together. Uh, Pairing still seems a little off to me. I still can't stand. He
You
was
cut out
kind
for a
of.
second.
I still Ichikawa. I'm still like, eh, eh. Like at least he's not like killing classmates or trying to.
Yeah.
But it's just like, dude, like, oh, I don't have any friends. I don't know what friendship is like. But you did have friends. We saw that you had friends. So I don't know what this whole thing is about. So I'm like, okay, I gotta like take myself back to like seventh grade me. And I could
Well, I think
maybe
he was trying to compete with them in the
yeah.
way that kids do. It's like oh, I
Yeah.
can't afford that game system, so I'm gonna lie about it. It's like, yeah, I have that game system. Which games do you have? It's like, uh, stuff like that. Like I find him to be really relatable. Um, from when I was a teenager and when I was that age. Um, and that's one of the things that I ended up liking more about the show than I think the romantic aspects.
Hmm.
Just watching him try to be in a relationship with her, given like his insecurities. And I think that's really what the show is about. Both of them having their insecurities about like who they are and like them trying to figure out how to come together in spite of them. And I think that's really, for me, like my favorite part of the entire show, where everybody else is like, oh, they like each other, or they don't like each other, they know, or they don't know. Or you have the rival guy who's a D bag, and you have all these other people, and watching them, like, even though people are pursuing them, they know what they want, and they're kind of locked in on it, but they
Hmm.
just have to figure it out for themselves.
They had to figure it. I don't think I had to figure it.
What happened?
I don't think Yamada had to figure it out at all. I think
You're
she
right.
knew it, and she locked in, and she kept, kept, kept pressing, and he was just kind of like, nah. But then when the story needed him to come through, and so that
That's
kind
what
of
you did.
took me out of it, because it's
I
like
see.
you see this, like she is going way, way out of her way to do everything, and you're just like brushing it off. And at some point, you can call it insecurity. At some point, I could be like, okay. At some point, when you're like, I'm not experienced, I don't know what she's trying to say, I can let that slide a little bit too. But after a while, it was just like, all right, the lady is on top of you on her bed. I don't know what else there is. That's to say. What else? Like, what is it? And then you're still like, I don't know. She's like, what are you talking about? That
Yeah.
bothered me.
Yeah.
And it just got
Well,
to a point where
because
he
it
was
was
too
that scene.
conveniently ignorant.
Well, that scene was kind of revenge for her
I know it
because
was.
he had
I
accidentally,
remember.
yeah, he had actually done that to her. So maybe he
Uh,
thought about it that way, but he shouldn't
no,
have. He should have said, if she's comfortable to be here and he's comfortable enough to do that, then she's saying something.
you're laying in her bed in her room with her on top of
Well, she
you.
was in his room on top of him, right?
Even in seventh grade, I would know. I would have known exactly at that point what was going down. There's, that just bothered me.
I think that's I think that's a Japanese thing too.
Yeah, and it was one of those things that I chalked it up that way too, as like a
Yeah.
cultural thing. Um,
Well, my thing, I don't know if it's just story wise, it's like
yeah,
will they, won't they? That whole will they, won't they that drags on in shows because they're so reluctant and in their heads and like doubtful and like all these considerations that they need to make.
mm,
Um, and I think that I agree with you where it serves the story more than the actual like characters, where it's like
yes,
the character should know he's not that dumb.
mm,
I mean, he might be a little bit crazy because he sees that imaginary guy, but
very agree.
yeah, but he's not that dumb. Yeah. And I think I chalk that up to you, like where it's just this is just story. This is in
Yeah,
service of the story and is in service of dragging things out as long as possible. So we have enough material for like 3 or 4 seasons or like however many manga we want to do. Yeah. Yeah.
um, we touched on it real quick. I'll touch on Dungeon People. Dungeon People was on High Dive, and this was a show where basically this girl is an adventurer, and there's a dungeon, and her dad has is been missing for a while, and he's an adventurer, so he's like, oh, he must be in this dungeon, like level, like I don't think anybody's ever gotten past the dungeon, so she's like, all right, he must be in this dungeon. She goes into the dungeon and she gets to a fight with one of the monsters, ends up breaking the wall, and that's where like the administrator is, and she realizes this is how this dungeon works. The administrator's like, why don't you come in and I'll bring you in to assist me here and help build a dungeon. So you get to, like we said with slime, you're watching how they're building it. And there's still the thread of her trying to find her dad. And in her off time, she's still able to be an adventurer. But they're showing you how these dungeons are built. And I thought it was fun. It was interesting. It was like a slice of life. But it was a good comfort in.
Okay.
Very, you're watching it. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's what happens. Oh, that's a level 3 one. And then, it was just very chill, very chill.
Yeah, there were times where I was watching it and I'm like, what's happening in this show? I just felt like this doesn't. There's not a lot of characters, but the characters you
No.
do have are pretty fun.
Yeah.
But there's times where I'm just like, this seems more like a game that would be fun
Mhm.
to play than like,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
like a dungeon management game.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
it was a fun little game. It
So
was a fun show.
so so like a Minecraft type thing.
Mm,
Um, what could I compare? I mean,
I
kind of
played.
Minecraft in a dungeon, if you want to think of it that way.
Minecraft
Um,
has Minecraft has his own people technically. I
I
just
played a
mm,
game where this. So I played a PS5 game where this woman essentially buys a dungeon,
mhm,
and like she essentially what you do is as you fight the dungeon, you essentially take over parts of the dungeon. You kind
mm,
of domesticate the dungeon so that you can like farm it.
mhm,
So that's what this show reminded me of. You essentially fight your way to the bottom and eventually you beat the bosses and stuff.
right.
But as you go, you farm everything and like they're generated and there's slimes and their stuff. And then you get to meet the creator of the dungeon and his kids and stuff. And you find out how they created the dungeon and how it ended up mutating them and stuff. And like,
Mhm.
different things, various things that happen. And that's kind of what this reminded me of. It reminded me of that game quite a bit. I'm trying to remember the name of the game, but it was a lot of fun actually.
Sounds a lot like it.
It was very similar. That's why I felt like so like I'm like this. It feels like a game. hmm Speaking of high dive, we have to talk about Jack's favorite show of the season. I
Ugh.
I parry everything. Your reaction says it all, man.
I haven't actually watched this, so I don't know. I gotta go back to High Dive.
It's a fun show. I gotta admit that this time, like, I actually enjoyed this way more than the other show that Chilling in My 30s.
Yeah. The
Chilling in My
genre that
30s,
they created because Jack talks about the show so much.
pretty much.
Because
He
now
must have
That's
every time
crazy.
I look, there's another show like Chilling in My 30s. I'm like, wait, is this the same show? No, it's not.
oh, but it feels like it. It's like
It
I
does.
started adventuring in my 30s, or
Right.
like I opened a business in another world in my 30s, and it's like Jack started something. Well, he mentioned it like 50 times.
Yeah.
He mentioned it enough to the point where Martin wanted to watch it, and it was
Yeah.
like he's like, "Oh, I gotta watch this." Jack mentioned it so many times; it
And
must be
he's
really good.
and Jack's like, no, I didn't. Martin's like, yeah, you
Yeah, you
did.
did. Yeah. Whenever I talked about any single isekai that season, he brought up, chilling in my 30s, and it wasn't even an isekai. Like, and that was the crazy thing. It's like, dude, this isn't even an isekai. Why do you keep bringing this
Ah,
up?
that was funny.
That was hilarious. So he
That
said
was.
that this season's chilling in my 30s would be I parry everything.
Mm,
I actually enjoyed I parry everything more than chilling in my
I
30s.
did too.
hmm This show's really good.
So, like, Evan, why don't you break it down for Alberto?
So the premise of the show is there's this kid. He lived alone in the. He lived alone. His parents pass away. His parents die, so he lives alone in the forest. And he decides he's like, I'm going to become an adventurer because I'm going to. There's this story that there's like this fairy tale of this dragon, who if you defeat the dragon, you're granted a wish.
Well,
And so, wait, am I confusing these? No, no. Well, the point is that his parents read him stories about being an adventurer. So he goes into town and he goes to the Adventurers Guild and he said, "Hey, I want to be an adventurer." And they're like, "All right, we'll set you up at one of the schools." So he goes to every one of the schools and he just doesn't have the level. He just no matter how long he's there, they're like they tell him like, "Look, you can't cut it.
Hmm.
You just can't go beyond this level." So he leaves and he practices and he practices and he practices and he practices. He parries, he hangs a sword, he's able to parry it. He hangs 100 swords, he's able to parry those. And so he just keeps doing this one move over and over and over again until he's essentially perfect at it. And so he's an adventurer, but he takes these low level assignments because he that's all they'll give him because he can't rank up. He can't take on the other assignments. But the thing is, though, is that his parry is more powerful than pretty much anybody's attacks. Because the first episode, he's looking for work. They're exploring a dungeon. The princess is in there with her troop because she wants to go explore the dungeon because she wants to be an adventurer. A gigantic minotaur shows up, right?
Which he thinks
And
is a cow.
he thinks it's a cow. He's like, this is just a cow. And the Minotaur's killing everybody. He's got his axe, he's slicing and dicing. All the princess's people are getting slaughtered. He comes in there, parry, parry, parry. Minotaur's dead. But he knows that he's like, oh, I killed the cow. Let me go hide because I don't
Mm.
know what's gonna happen. So he runs off, and the princess is like, well, we gotta find this guy. And that's how the show starts.
okay.
Yeah.
And just to clarify things a little bit, this was something that they didn't really explain too much in the first episode, but later, like when Edwin was saying they sent him to these different schools, it's different schools of magic. So let's say it's fire magic. It's not that he can do fire magic. He can only do like base level one fire magic. Like he
Mm,
could like spark a fire with his hands or whatever.
mm,
Or, if it's like I don't know, water, might be able to like do a little drizzle. He could do basic level magic from the different. He
But
just
he's
can't
but he's
level
practiced
those
his
up.
yeah, but he's practiced those basic level spells
Right.
to the point where they're just as dangerous as the higher level spells.
and that's the
Yeah.
same show. The I parry everything.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Same show.
Okay. I'll put it. I'll put it already in my
Your
what's
queue.
later list. Yeah. So high dive. Because to be honest, I I pay for this and then I kind of like
Forget about it.
let it. Yeah.
Well,
So
because they only have 2 or 3 shows that you legitimately want to watch each season. Like they'll have stuff that's really under the radar.
Mm-hmm.
I think that what was the plus size elf show
Another one of Jack's shows.
that he talked about that like I can see why it's on High Dive.
Yeah.
I don't know who's watching
Even
this.
even even Jack said, after the first couple of episodes, he's like, yeah, it went in the direction I didn't want to go
It
in.
took him 3 shows to get there.
I
I
think
watched
so.
that first episode and I'm like, you know what?
hey,
I'm
he
not sure.
loves
I'm
elves.
But
He loves
it's
elves.
Jack and
So
Elves. You have to
he,
really do something bad to make Jack not watch a show about
yeah. So
pretty much, especially a blonde elf.
Elf.
That's Jack's dream girl
it's-
right there.
Oh
I
boy.
mean, he if he actually watched, I don't know if he's watching Fatal Frame, but Fatal Frame has I would say one of the most perfect blonde elves so far that I've seen anime for in a while.
Mhm.
So I
I
guess
I
agree.
that
agree.
I agree.
See,
She's a pretty good character. That's a pretty good character. That's a pretty.
Sarah
That's a yeah.
Sarah's H for Ashrain.
Hmm.
And she's
That's
strong too. She's not like she kind of like they made her like the love interest of the guy, but it's like she also strong. Like she's not depending on him. She just he's the party leader. I'm gonna follow him, whatever. He already protected me, so why not?
yeah. She's not a slouch. That's not a throwaway character in any way, shape, or form.
And I like I like Lightspeeder too. The leopard.
Hmm.
She too is like I want to see her more in action because she's a full warrior.
Yeah, that show I really ended up that became one of my favorites of the season. I
Really?
didn't realize that I'd read the light novel. Uh, it's Failure Frame,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
yeah.
fairly fine.
Yeah, Failure Frame. I didn't realize that a couple of years back I had read the light novel for it. I'm like, why does this seem so familiar? And it's because I had read I thought it was because I watched so much isekai, which is fair.
Mhm.
Yeah. But I'd actually read the light novel. It's on my Kindle. Like I had read this. And yeah, that ended up being one of my favorites of the season. I actually look forward to it. I think because he's whole unrepentant about
Yes.
what he wants to do, and like that goddess is a piece of shit. So
Yeah.
it's like I really want to see her kind of like I want to see him take her down. Like man, like I'm jonesing for that. Like I want to see this dude like just decimate his classmates and this goddess because they've given him so much crap that I'm like, yeah, this is a revenge fantasy where I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm there.
I like how all of them are like level 25, 26. He level 2000 almost already.
Yeah,
And like,
he's
I don't even
yeah,
know how they going even
he's got
close to stopping.
I don't know because he's got like 600,000 magic and like now he just took out like an army of monsters
Yeah.
and so it's like the last episode all you heard as they were going to black was like level up, level up, level up, level up, level up, level up. So who knows what level this guy is going to be at when they finally confront him and when
Yeah.
he finally confronts the goddess. It's like, yeah.
So
And
break
like
this show down because I haven't seen it.
so it's an isekai, but it's a classroom isekai. So
Okay,
in classroom isekais, they bring the entire classroom
right.
to another world. And when they do that, there's always, there's usually one character. Afritita did this, um, where, one character who's weak and like they kind of throw him either somehow, like in that one, there's a conspiracy to kill that guy. And so he ends up at the bottom of the dungeon. In this one, it's a goddess who says that essentially she tests everybody's magic power to see what rank they are, A rank, S rank. So one of the kids is like an E rank, like he's
Hmm.
got like the weakest, like he's got like status ailments. He doesn't have like any real magical power, like any he can't do like
Hmm.
Armageddon level, like chaos
Yeah.
level, whatever.
Correct. Yeah.
So he
He
can't do
cannot
that.
do he cannot do destruction spells. He can only do like he said
Status, yeah.
status elements, but it's not like he can heal people either. It's
Mm-mm.
just like status elements that you use them maybe if you need it just to, if we put it in terms of Pokemon, if you need to, paralyze the Pokemon just so you can catch it, just to give you an example, or put it to
Hmm.
sleep
Mm-mm.
so it doesn't use a hyper beam and, effed up your life, just to give an example. That type of status elements
Yeah,
is
give
what
you enough
he has.
time to like attack them or like run away or take a potion so that you don't die fighting them. So
Hmm.
that's essentially what he has. And so she makes an example of him. She dumps him in a dungeon where essentially she expects him to die. But he realizes that his status ailments can actually save him. And so he uses those to like defeat that dungeon
Hmm.
and become like more powerful than like she could imagine because what she doesn't realize is that like this kid was abused as a child and so he's realized that he needs to be a certain way in order to survive and so his exterior is a mask.
Mm-hmm.
He puts on this exterior of being a nice guy so that he can get along in society, but really inside he's a monster because he's realized that that's what he needs to be to survive in just in our world, let alone another world. And so that's who he is. And he tells the people he's with too. He's like, I'm unrepentant. This isn't. I'm not doing this for justice. I'm not doing this for some kind of morality. I want to do this because I want to wipe that goddess off the face of the planet because of what she did to me. And I like that because you don't get a lot of characters like that. You know,
Right.
usually it's like they might be the reluctant hero or the
Mm-hmm.
anti-hero, but he's flat out like, look, this is for my revenge. You
And
know.
hopefully they continue like that in the following seasons because one thing that you usually the trope that you actually get is like the bad guy, becomes good, or even the semi evil guy becomes good. But
Mm-hmm.
this one, even when he's stunting his enemies, you think, oh, so he's really doing that?
Yep.
Nah,
Yep. You
nah.
hear them screaming in the background. It's like you
Yeah.
deserve this. Yep.
Yeah.
And it's like,
So you
well,
should you
yeah.
should see it. You should see it's only 11 episodes right now, but I think
I'm
it's
watching.
I think it's gonna end. I think it's gonna end with the 12. Not really sure, but since it's an isekai, usually isekais now or every other episode now has like 12 episodes. But it's a
12
very
or
interesting
13.
one. It's a very
12 or
I feel
13,
like
yeah.
it's interesting.
I want
I'll watch it. It's on my watch list. I just haven't started it yet.
Yeah.
But I want to watch it.
so
Oh, wait, wait,
Alberto.
wait.
Uh-huh.
Can I throw in all right, this is a super side note. But I want to throw in this like catch up because I want to ask you to.
Sure.
All right, so I watched the first Dune movie.
Okay.
Like the one with
Um
this guy, The Rock.
Chalamet.
who?
Timothy Chalamet.
Oh,
Yeah,
Dune.
yeah, yeah, Dune,
Yeah.
Dune,
Dune. I thought
Dune.
you said
Yeah.
Doom,
No, no, no,
like
no.
the
Not, I'm
game
not watching that.
Doom.
I'm not watching
Like,
Definitely not.
that.
like I
Dune,
start watching now, it's like, no, okay,
Dune. I did watch
okay,
Dune. I
all
watched the
right.
first one. All
Okay.
right. So, how much influence did Dune have on Star Wars? Because I felt like I was watching Star Wars. Because when they were talking about spice, I'm like, spice?
I think it's the other way around.
And then I'm looking at the set and the voice. I'm like, that's the Force. Like all this stuff. I'm like, this is it just me or is this like Star Wars?
So,
Like, was there any sort
for
of
you to
influence from
understand
Star
the movies, you have to see the series, and the
Wars?
series came out after the Star Wars movies back then. This I'm talking about the Dune series, the Oliver. They
Mm-hmm,
came out on the 90s. I watched those series by the end of the 90s with my parents.
mm-hmm,
So Dune is heavily influenced by Star Wars back then and now. It is what it is because it was a trope back then, futuristic, different galaxies type movies. The series, in my opinion, are better because they give you more detail as to how he gets his powers, where does he get, and what they can do, with his genealogic and he being mixed with this other powerful witches, basically, thing. But
mm-hmm,
the movie now, I think they're somewhat uh telling the same story as the series itself, but more compact on it. But you should see the series. But yeah, I would agree with you. It is definitely somewhat influenced by Star Wars, but that's not new. That's the Dune series are really old. At least that's what I think. I don't
No, well,
know.
see,
Yeah.
I thought it was the other way around because were the Dune books out before Star Wars?
Well,
The
that yeah,
Dune the
that's true.
Dune books
Yeah,
came
that's
out
true.
in the first one came out like in the 60s.
Yeah, that's
Mm-hmm,
true.
So I think that the thing is that you have he could have based it on that. Lucas studied like the hero's journey,
mm-hmm,
which is very influences like the Christ myth, where you follow that path
mm-hmm.
of like this mythic this figure
Right.
who essentially rises to godhood and becomes the representation of the religion. And so that kind of plays out in the same way in both films.
Mhm.
But the Dune film came out after um, Star Wars.
Right.
So the first film would have been influenced by Star Wars, but the novels could have influenced Lucas
Yeah.
in some way. I completely agree. I can completely agree with that.
Okay.
Yeah, he could have read the novels and been like, "Wow, this is inspiring, and I want to do something like this." Yeah, but there's a
And
lot of yeah.
A lot
and
of similarities there.
it's a
Mhm.
lot of similarities. And then between that same era, it was a
Mhm.
lot of thing between how Christianity was actually impacting society back then, and how they also was getting out almost also a war too as well. The Cold War also was kind of like in between that too as well.
Mhm.
So most of, and this is something that we discussed the last time we were together,
Right.
right? People don't see it this way, but Star Wars is a heavy critic of society, of the political situation that was happening back then, the religious situation was happening back then, and society as it is. And you see those elements in like in the Jedi's, the Siths, and the different casts of the Star Wars. Dune is kind of the same thing. People are expecting this godhood persona, right? And the way that they achieve that is by, in the Dune series itself, it's just by mixing, genes and different casters and different type of um humanoids
Mhm.
generations, right?
It's essentially
And
eugenics. I mean,
yeah,
Right.
they're
Yeah.
breeding for the ultimate being. Yeah.
for the ultimate being, yeah.
Hmm.
So that's why when if you see the second movie, there's a meme going around that says Lisan Al Gaib, because in the second movie, that's
Yeah.
the only thing that you will hear on it. Lisan Al Gaib, Lisan Al Gaib,
Yeah.
you know, which is kind of funny, but it kind of follows the same too. So if you saw the first one, I
Mhm.
feel like the second one does explain a little bit more what's happening with the story itself, and it has a little bit more action itself. But it's
There's
Dune.
a lot more
Dune,
action in the second movie. Yeah.
Dune itself is kind of like a slice of life type series itself, because it's all if around its
Mhm.
family, and how the Empire is trying to convert him to be someone else. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that the movie did a really good job of explaining a lot more because it's not trying to tell you the entire story all at once.
mhm,
It really does a better job of like um, including stuff, including arcs, and making the character relationships. Like his relationship to his mom doesn't come
Yes.
across as much in the
Mhm.
1980, like I think it's 1982 film. I'm not exactly sure when it came out, but it doesn't really do justice to like the different relationships that or how he builds those relationships or how he reacts to those relationships.
Mhm.
Like Timothy Chalamet's character is like he wants no part of this. He's like, I don't want this. It's
Yeah.
his mom who's kind of like, hey, we need to do this to survive. These people are going to protect us. And he's like, I don't want an army. I don't want to be a god. I don't want to start a war that's going to, kill billions of people. Like, I don't want any of this. And she's like, well, we have to do this in order to survive. Because if not, the emperor is going to kill us,
Mhm.
the Harkonnens are gonna kill us. The Freean are gonna kill us. The sandworms are gonna kill us. Everything's gonna kill us if you don't walk down this path. And he's like, sure, fine, okay, I'll do it. Not because I want to, but because this is our only choice.
Mhm.
And then once he embraces it, everybody's like, oh, what have we done? You
exactly.
know, yeah. Like, oops,
Yeah, because
maybe this is something that we shouldn't have asked for.
yeah. And the
Yeah.
second movie, I like it because that's one part that you can see how he takes the full authority of what he is, what family he
Mhm.
actually becomes to, and what the power of his mixed genealogies with this witch caste. And whenever he makes these other old witch shut up, and she was like, "Oh, heretics, oh,
I'm like,
you
how?
know,
Yeah,
like
you're a man. How can you do
you're
this?
Right.
exactly like you're telling me, which I have the ultimate power, and
And
then
he's like,
because of the power, she can't speak technically, she has to, so you should see the second movie. I had to rewatch it because I did like the series and the films back then. So I'm having a good time with this ones.
Mhm.
Uh, and then
yeah, there was a
one other
sci-fi
thing.
channel series.
Yes, yes, and that series, in my pertain, is really good because not only did he have the power of the voice, he has actual movement powers and stuff like that. So, in that series, they explain a little more out of the novels itself, like how he
Mhm.
developed a whole set of power and how he became the ultimate human being. And not only that, but how his kids also did at some point too. And because they also, how at the well, I don't think you have seen the second movie, so I don't want to
I
say
haven't
too much
seen it,
about it.
but you
Yeah.
could. I'm always okay with spoilers. You can
Uh,
say what you need to.
Well, there's
so
a
Say what you
novel
need to say.
entitled Children of Dune. Yeah,
yeah,
Yeah.
so it's really, in my opinion, it's interesting. Always loved
Mhm.
sci-fi. Sci-fi does have a lot of good tropes in it.
Yeah.
The good thing about sci-fi is just it don't matter what they come through it. It's not real. You can get behind it if you like it. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Uh, it's just like with the Aliens movie.
Yeah.
Aliens. I was watching a YouTube video the other day about
Mhm.
how different aliens uh, we actually have, but they don't actually explain to you this on the movies. So this guy was just, hey, this alien is this alien is that. I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then me remember the other movies. It's like, okay, that makes sense now. In my mind. But going back to Dune, you should see the second movie. You see that?
My only complaint about the second movie is where the first movie succeeds at showing you more of the relationships and
Mhm.
how they develop. Um, the second movie, I honestly think they should have been three movies. Because I don't
I
think
think there's gonna be a third movie. I believe so.
there's none, the third movie I think doesn't deal with the stuff from the first book though. The first book has been
Oh,
covered. Yeah,
okay,
they
okay,
essentially finished the first book. They finished Dune.
They
Um,
finished the first two. So the
mhm,
first two movies covered the first book.
yeah,
okay, okay.
Okay.
I think it should have been a trilogy because I don't feel that the second movie shows the amount of development that
Mhm.
the first movie did, and I thought that was kind of regrettable because I would have liked to have seen these the relationships he has with the Freehan. I would have liked to have seen that develop more.
Yeah.
And then there's some choices that he makes that come like kind of come out of the blue, where I'm just like, really? I'm like, I get it from he kind of becomes his mom toward the
Mhm.
end of the last movie. It's like, oh, I'm gonna do these things to survive, to conquer, to have legitimacy. And it's like that's not the place where he was coming from before. So to see him like do this political wrangling, right, or this political like
Mainly.
gamesmanship, yeah, at the end, I was kind of like, I would have liked to have seen that evolution a little bit more.
Mhm.
Like, okay, what was his thinking? Because it's like, um, I can't remember the name of the Zendaya's character, but like there at
I know
toward
what
the
you're.
end of the movie, yeah, something happens, and I'm just like, wait, what? I get why he did it
Mhm.
from like a political perspective, but at the same time, I'm like, I didn't see that coming from him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he
Not
didn't
a,
seem
it's the character making that choice, not the choice itself.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I think he could have taken a little bit more time to show those relationships building, the trust building, and kind of like just seeing how these characters became, like Alberto said, where they're always shouting his name,
Yeah.
where how that became, how they gained that trust, not just by blind faith, but by
Mhm.
seeing him fight alongside them and being one of them.
They do show him, but it's not as right out there. You know what I mean? Like you have to
Mhm.
infer a
Some
lot of
things,
things
yeah.
of
Okay.
the that is happening because to get you to the point. It's just like with
Hmm.
his relationship with Zendaya, it's the same thing. she's mad because uh she's not is the way that the sand people do the relationships, just like water. You're my water now, you belong to me, and my
Hmm.
water is precious because we're in a sand world. That's a thing that we should be, I'm sharing my water with you, you share my water with you. So
Hmm.
now you now you telling me that you're gonna get, with this other person. How that gonna work? uh
No, no woman she didn't want to be a concubine.
Correct. Yeah, yeah.
She didn't want
That's
to be a
the
concubine.
reason.
She
Well,
didn't
I
want to
don't know
watch.
if,
Yeah,
because I don't remember the books itself, but I think
yeah.
in the books also that happened to as well. But it's more like he had to do that because as a power movement. But in
That's what I'm
reality,
talking about. Yeah,
yeah, in
it was a
reality, he actually is still with the Zendaya character, and then he has kids with the Zendaya character,
Hmm.
and maybe one or two kids with the Emperor's daughter. But that's it. So, but still, it's like you say, no woman want to be like, second fiddle to nobody.
That's understandable. That's
you
understandable.
know.
I'm gonna watch the second one. I know my aunt said she liked the first movie better.
I did too.
Yeah.
Yeah, to me it was a better representation of. To me, I thought he took his time more, and I
Hmm.
think that he managed to he managed to show you everything that was going on, like all the politics and everything that was going on. Yeah. And then I didn't like the casting of the Emperor. I love that actor. I love Christopher Walken. But I just didn't feel that
He
he
was
was
too
the right.
weak. Yeah, he was too
Yeah,
weak for that character.
yeah, I
I,
think so too.
I feel that too. It's like
Yeah.
he was like, "Eh."
Hmm.
Like you're gonna put out someone I didn't even know, and that would have been okay with it because he literally didn't do anything. At
Well, if
least
we
in
had
my
seen
opinion.
him interact with Duke Leto, with Atreides' father, I think if we had seen them interact, we would have understood why he did what he did. Because he was operating from a position of weakness, and so he was afraid that Duke Leto would essentially, rise up and take over, because the people loved him so much.
Correct.
And
Yeah.
so, yeah, I think if
Give
we
me,
had
give
seen,
me, give. He would have been better if in the first movie would have give us a foreshadowing, or like start the second movie with some many years ago, type
yeah,
thing.
because all we really get in the first movie, like in the original movie, the emperor's um, we get the emperor's viewpoint because he meets with the Benedict, forgot how what's their name, the
The
Jenny
Benesari,
Bezeret witches.
the
He
Jenny
meets with one of the
Bells,
riches, and
yeah.
he's like, "This is what I want," and they're like,
Hmm.
"Oh well, okay." And then, but they don't have that in the first movie. It's his daughter's voiceover, and then this is what the emperor is feeling. But I think if
Correct.
we've gotten a few scenes with him interacting with Leto, or at least saying, what he was thinking, then I think I would have accepted it more in the second movie.
Yeah,
But like, yeah, I don't feel that Christopher Walken was the best choice for that character. Yeah.
yeah. It felt weak. It definitely
Hmm.
felt weak.
Yeah, that was one of the weaker parts of that film. Yeah.
I do have to say these both movies are stunningly amazing. CGI
Hmm.
is been no spends.
Yeah.
Score, it keeps you hooked because you don't get. It's not a soundtrack itself. It's not music. It's a soundtrack that is just
Right.
you're like, okay, oh, and what would we do? And then you got spacecraft and all these other worlds, and you can see how this people is just like white skin because of their sun and stuff like that. So it's that part
I
is
think
like,
I think it contributes to sci-fi in general, where
yeah,
people, I think, where younger, for like younger kids, they'll want to look forward to more sci-fi,
yeah,
uh, because they love Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah.
He's in everything right now, and
yeah,
I think that this will be one of the films that they remember, especially if they're sci-fi fans going forward. So this will be like their epic, like maybe their Star Wars, where it's like,
Hmm.
man, that was really good. I remember it. I want to see something else like that. I want to see more.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
We'll watch it. We'll watch it. I mean, the first one took a while. It took a while, but
Yeah,
it's good.
it's a long
Liz.
movie. Yeah,
Very long.
yeah.
It's cool. All right, what else did you guys watch?
Um,
Let me see what I got over here.
I have.
like there was a show called Wistoria, Wand and Sword that I liked.
Yes, I
Yeah,
watched that too. I liked it. That's one of my favorites of the season.
yeah, that one was really good. I love that he's essentially a knight
Yes,
surrounded by mages,
yes,
and I love that the Edward character is essentially Snape. That the teacher, the professor is like essentially the main professor is essentially Snape.
that's. I was gonna say that this was essentially Harry Potter.
It is, yeah.
This is
Yeah,
Harry Potter. Like
yeah.
Alberto, have you watched this one?
No, Wistoria is in
Yeah,
Crunchyroll.
Mm,
Restoria, Wand and Sword. This is
yeah, it's
one
on
I think
Crunchyroll.
you'd really enjoy. It is Crunchyroll.
Yeah, this was a lot of
Um,
fun.
yeah. So, um, yeah, it's basically Harry Potter. Um, I'm a Harry Potter expert now because I saw the first.
Because you saw the first one.
That's the first two. First two.
Just
I'm a
listen
Harry
to the
Potter.
look. Just listen to the books on Audible, and then you'll be fine.
I watched the first two, so I'm an expert. So like they played what was essentially Quidditch, right?
Right?
The little
No,
game that it was like because they had the thing where you had to like race around or whatever, and I'm like, this is Harry Potter. That's what they did in Harry Potter.
the whole thing is Harry Potter, but not
Yeah,
just the competition, but every aspect of the show
yeah.
is
That's what
essentially yeah.
I'm just breaking down like the different things,
Oh,
and
okay.
then like you said, the professor. As soon as I saw him, I was like, this is Snape.
Yeah,
This is Snape.
yeah,
Like this is
like
a carbon copy of Snape.
yeah, like the sourness, the
Yeah.
way he hates the kid because the kid has no magical power. Yeah,
Um.
essentially. So Alberto, so essentially the basic premise of this show is that Voldemort led his armies against the magicians, and what had to happen was the magicians essentially had to close off the world. They had to close
Right?
off the sky to
Mhm.
keep Voldemort out. Now these kids have grown up and they've ascended the tower to become the ultimate mages. And so this kid, he has no magical powers whatsoever.
And these mages are the ones that's responsible for keeping
The barrier
the
that keeps
barrier up.
Voldemort and his forces out.
Mhm.
And so what happens is that they ascend the tower. Like I don't know what happens to the ones before, which is kind of weird.
Mhm.
That's kind of something that they haven't revealed yet because I'm like,
No,
all right, what happens to these people? Like we know people move up,
right,
but what happens to the wizards that move that whose place are they taking
right.
and where are those people going? That's a mystery they haven't revealed.
No.
But essentially his goal is to meet his childhood friend who's already ascended the tower, ascended up
Mhm.
to the tower. So his goal is to
Think like
graduate.
think like Kafka Hobino in Kaiju number 8. It's the exact same story.
Yeah,
Exact same story.
Mm.
yeah.
Like she's the top mage, and they made a childhood pact, and he's trying to ascend to get up there with her.
But
Okay,
he has
okay.
no magical power.
Yeah.
But
Apparently it's really good. It's
It's
4.8
Harry
in
Potter meets Kaiju number 8.
okay.
It takes like the story of Kaiju and places it in the world of Harry Potter.
Okay.
yeah,
I'll check it out.
that is what this is.
Hey, bro, I didn't know because I know that you guys have watched a lot, but I didn't want to get into it until like I really get recommendations to the point that I'm rewatching Naruto Madara's Last War. That's what I'm
Yeah.
doing now, bro. That's what this season is like. Let me go with Watch because I didn't remember a lot of things on it too, and I wanted to see like some battle stuff. You
Yeah,
guys
yeah,
know me as a battle junkie,
yeah.
uh, anime uh watcher basically. So if it does have a battle, tell me,
Yeah.
So I went back to that, and I'm there's a lot of stuff that either I was asleep when I was watching it, or because I was bootlegging Naruto at the day
Yeah,
back in
yeah,
the
yeah.
day, I didn't remember any of these episodes, so I'm basically
You're
rewatching now. I'm
watching.
almost done. Yeah, I'm almost done. In I'm having fun making fun of Sakura too. So her trope is really it's really painful. That's for
It
sure.
is. It is bad. Yes, crush.
But I'm on understanding a little bit more. I do is do what I like about it right now is that it's actually making me interest in the Akatsuki line. But for that,
Yeah.
I had to jump all the way to Boruto, so I had to skip like about 80 something episodes. So when I
Yeah.
found that and I jumped to that and I'm able to see those battles and how they can be, then I'll let you guys know. But right now it's like, oof, am I willing to get all this story out of the way? Because in reality, it's literally Boruto is for kids. So for me, it was I did watch the first 80 something episode, and it
I
bored
told
me.
you, like
It bored
Boruto
me.
is not good. Like
Yeah.
it takes.
It's filler,
It
bro.
doesn't
80
get
80
good
episodes
until
of filler.
Kawaki gets there.
Wow.
Yeah.
It doesn't get good until Kawaki gets there, and that's like after like episode 100. Like that's
Yeah.
around episode 100.
Oh my god.
Yeah, somebody told me the same thing. So that's why I gotta go through it now that I had at least 2, 3 years to put episodes out to see if I can land where the actual story of
Yeah,
Boruto is.
it's
'Cause they-
honestly the best stuff. I'll listen to people like reviewing the manga on YouTube, and the manga only comes out monthly. It's not like every other week. So like I guess they're kind of like waiting for this to build up a bit. But the manga is it's good. It's kind of what you want it to be. It's kind of like the Naruto Shippuden of Boruto, I would say. But like I said, Boruto doesn't get good until Kawaki gets there. Other than that, it's not good. But you still get filler in there, but some of the filler is good. Like there's this filler with this like nation at the sea that's kind of like but it like establishes a character. Then there's a filler that's based on like a light novel around Sasuke, where he like breaks prison, and I'm like, okay, this is um, but Orto, it doesn't like you. It's a rough. It's a rough watch.
mm,
The only reason why I didn't watch it was because it was still during COVID, and I just finished Naruto, so I'm like, I might as well keep going.
like
But
yeah. That's that's kind
it's a
of kind of what I did because I kind of stopped watching the anime
mm-hmm.
because at the time the anime was not par, but it was a slow thing to build
Yeah,
on to the manga. So I
yeah,
went and read the manga, finished the manga. I said, "Oh, I like this." Whatever. I stopped just with Bleach. I stopped. The manga only went to the episodes only went to a certain amount. So
mm-hmm.
yeah, I end up reading the manga just as I could get out of it, right? So when I came back, I was able to see all the episodes. I said, "Oh, Naruto, I just finished. Boruto, oh, I didn't know that this was even a thing." So let me look at it. 80 episodes, bro. I was like, why am I watching this, bro? Like
It's
it made no sense. It was just a pity party all the time. It was always crying. It was always having an excuse for all the stuff that he did. So it's like, nah, I'm just gonna stop here and then whatchamacallit, and clear it out of my watch list too.
yeah, it's a rough. It is rough. God,
The other one that I also started, it was the strongest magician in the Demon Lord was a human.
mm-hmm.
So I started this one. It has a name like as an isekai, but it's not an isekai. But
Yeah,
imagine
that's
Overlord,
these titles have been very misleading, like
very, very.
very
Uh,
misleading.
so imagine if Overlord, the guy from Overlord, was actually a human on the school. Like he was an isekai. He was an actual human. And then He was raised by the strongest magician of the Demon Lord's army.
Hmm.
So that's basically what it's about. He's, his whole trope is like, you can never show your face to any humans, and if
Hmm.
demons ever find out, they're gonna basically kill you. And I think it's in the first episode, he just get discovered. He said to himself, 20 years hiding my identity, and now this girl find out. So now he has convinced her to be his maid and stuff like that. And I'm going through it. I think I'm in like episode third or something. But
Hmm.
I'm going through it. So far, it's a little bit interesting. You know, it has actual fights and actual, like, he actually using invocations to actually destroy people and stuff like that. So at
Hmm.
least that part is getting interesting. Well, hopefully,
I
it does it
watched
in a high note.
I watched most of the show.
Uh-huh.
Kind of lost me toward the end. Because it gets complicated with the demon lord.
All right.
Because he starts interacting more and more with the demon lord. The magician friend of his who knows his secret, that kind of becomes like she's like, wait, are you gonna work for the demon lord? Or because once they introduce the demon lord, things become a little bit more interesting.
Yep.
But at the same time, you're asking questions as to like what's happening, and it becomes kind of like um I don't know. You'll see. Keep watching.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, keep watching. You let me know. We'll catch up on this once
Hmm.
you've watched like more episodes, so
Okay.
you can tell me how you feel about it because I don't want to spoil anything.
All right. Cool. Sounds good to me.
What else? Oh, okay. So I'll touch on this one. I did. I watched, I think, the first part of this because I don't think they started the second part yet. But I did watch Oshinoko season,
That's in high dive,
and
right? I think I saw that on high
yeah,
dive.
that's high dive. That's high dive. And season I like better than season one, mostly because there's less options. He's annoying as heck to me. Um, but again, like when I was talking to Jack about this, like I said, the most interesting aspect of this is like the theater aspect and seeing how like the peeps into the background of the entertainment industry is what is most interesting.
Yeah, you mentioned this before.
So
So
is this is like a musical type thing?
no,
Anime?
so the show is an isekai, right? So but
Okay.
it's kind of it's technically, but
Jesse said
Jesse,
no.
I don't think Jesse would like
Jesse
it.
said no.
Jesse said no.
Jesse
Jesse
said no.
said no, but I mean I think they generally classify it. I think it's more fantasy person.
I'm not
So
sure that it falls under either. Um, I I don't think that the reincarnation trope was necessary
it's
to
stupid.
tell this story.
It it's not, okay. So let me backtrack to season one because they do at the end of season two kind of refer back to it, which I'm like, this is just get rid of that. Because I remember when Jack was first like yelling at us to watch this, he's like, skip that episode. But that he's like, don't skip that, it's garbage. But that's what the show's based on. So it's a show. So you have this teen idol named Aoi, no
Oh,
I,
yeah.
and she's a teen idol, and you have this doctor who has a patient that's like she loves this idol. That's part of this starting to do some acting and everything, and so the doctor's taking care of the kid, and because he's so like invested in taking care of this kid, he starts to look out at this idol, and he becomes like a huge fan of this idol as well. one day he's leaving, he goes like into some woods to like save somebody, and he ends up dying. And then after he dies,
He's
he's
murdered.
murdered. He gets murdered, and after he gets murdered, he gets reincarnated as that same idol's child.
That's crazy.
So he's now the child of this
That's
idol that
you know
loves.
what I call that? Skill luck 3000.
Yeah,
For real.
it was
It
crazy.
was like you was so obsessed with it that you had to
Yes.
be in this aisle.
I
Yeah.
call that WTF. Because it's like, what the?
Yeah, because they can easily see they no look. Japanese anime is just one step away to become a hentai. And you know
Yeah.
they can use it as a mommy son bond type situation from oh she's my mom from oh yeah now I'm effing my mom technically. So then
Yeah.
I read the first issue of the manga, and I'm like, this is so weird. This is so weird. I'm like, I can't do this. But I can understand the appeal of the show because
Yeah.
idols are so popular.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So not only does he get reincarnated as her child, the kid that he was operating on is reincarnated as his sister too. They're like twins, or not twins. They're
damn.
they're both babies. So that happens. The mother ends up getting killed by somebody, and so the son, who keeps his like memories of who he was as the doctor, so he has to kind of like dumb himself down to play a child, even though like hears them talking and stuff at points. It's weird, but she ends up getting killed, and so he wants,
She
and
gets
it's by
killed?
he get no, she does.
The idol gets killed.
Idol
The
gets
idol.
killed.
That's insane.
This all happens in the first episode.
Oh
Really?
my god. I thought it was the first season.
No, this all happens in the first episode.
I'm
So the
This
already
is
idol ends
tired.
up
nuts.
getting
I'm
killed.
I'm tired
But
with that episode already. It's like too much going on.
it's like an hour and a half long. I think it's like
It
movie.
was a long one. Yeah.
It's like movie length. But the idol ends up getting killed, and it's by somebody that is in the movie industry. So what he wants to do is he wants to become an actor so he can find out who killed his mom. That's this whole. That's the overarching story. That's the thread that connects.
So that's how basically they develop the story.
That's how they develop the story.
Okay,
But
okay.
it's kind of. But the thing is, it's taking you through these different aspects of the entertainment industry.
Okay.
So that first season is focusing on the idol culture. His sister wants to become an idol, um, and um, so you're seeing what these people have to go through when they become an idol. You're seeing the talent agents that they go, the talent agents take advantage of them, the parts that they make them play. You see how this she just wanted to be all right. You're as high as you can go as an idol singer. We need to move you over into the acting lane. I'm gonna play this dark role over here. It's the interesting part for me is the behind the scenes of that. So then you go from that in season one. Season two, there he's still an actor. So the Sun Doctor, he was an actor on this reality show, or no, on the show that was adapted from a manga, and it was a bad adaptation. Everybody said it was trash. Um, but he ends up like with the girl, the main character on the show, and now there's a play starting for some other manga, a ninja manga, it into a play.
Okay.
So now this season, you're getting the behind the scenes of theater, right? But the most interesting part is what happens when a manga gets adapted to a or a play, right? So you have the scene where this guy who really loves the manga, but he has to adapt it into theater, and he does the best that he can. And the main actress, she like raises a stink. She's like, this isn't quite how the character is in the manga. She gets a little more development, a little more shine. He's like, this theater, like there's only so much I can do. I can't spend so much time doing background on this one character because this is a live performance.
Mm-hmm.
I get it's not like a show or a movie where I can chop this up. And so it ends up going back to the original manga the artist, and she's like, "This sucks. I don't like it. I'm not going to give you the rights to the play." And they're like, "How can we fix this?" I'll write it. She's starting to try to write the thing, and she's realizing how this stuff isn't going to work because what you can do on a page is different than what you can do in a movie, and it's different than what can do on a live set.
Mm-hmm.
So you see that interaction between the screenwriter and the manga artist because us as viewers, we're always like looking at the adaptations, especially if you read the manga or you read the book, and you're like, this is how the book was at all.
Yeah.
Like, how did you get over here? And so you see the plight of the screenwriter who ends up having a huge play like across town that the producer takes him to, and they're like, all right, you think what he did here sucks. I want to take you over here. Look at this theater. And like the manga artist, this is incredible, great. And the producer's like, the same dude wrote it. And it's like, it's just a difference between theater and the page. You see how that works out. And you get the behind the scenes of the theater, the drama that the actors are going through, adapting from, you know, being on camera to being live. So you see that those were the most interesting aspects of it to me. And I think Jack agrees. Kyle texted me about this, and hold on, let me pull up his word. I don't want to get it wrong. I don't want to get it wrong.
Side commentary.
Side comment. Um, we wish you well, all that good stuff. So he says it's great and he's loving it. And he says they portray a lot of mental illness really well in the show. And season two is great for the development of. So Akane is a she was a child star, a child TV star. She's an incredible actress, but the pain, the fame kind of got to her head, and she kind of got difficult to work with. Um, and part of it was her, and part of it was her mom always wanted to be, the it girl, being very difficult as well. Push for the daughter. So the kind of got, and so she finally came back as somebody that was idol in the sisters idol group because she's trying to revive her dead mom's group, and that kind of raised her profile a little bit. So now she got a role in this play too. So her development is she doesn't want to lose her second opportunity. So she kind of downplays herself in her job. She's doing acting, try to make other people shine. So it seems like she's a team player, right? And and you got people that know her. That's like you're a better actress than this. I want to bring this out. I want you. I idolize you as the star that you were. She's like, I don't want to lose my shot. I did that before, and it got me kicked out the industry. So the that aspect of it, incredible. I love it. But then you get the stuff where it's I don't care about his. I don't care, and that's
Yeah.
but that's the connective thread. I have to deal with it. He finds out like why half brother because he took a hair sample from something somewhere and sent it in. Like it's just I don't want this. Give me more of the behind the scenes of the entertainment industry. I love that. But this is one of the most popular anime out right now. So if you want to give it a shot, give it a shot. That
Yeah, I
that
don't.
reincarnation storyline will throw you completely off.
Yeah,
And
that's the thing I don't understand. And like, if he wanted to do, and this is the guy who did Love Is War.
yes,
So if he wanted to do an anime about the underbelly of the idol culture and like cinema or like the art scene in
mm,
Japan, I don't think that he needed a murder mystery isekai to do it.
not at
Yeah,
all.
yeah. So I don't understand what his thinking was. Like that gives your protagonist maybe a leg up on
Mm,
everyone else, but at the same time you could have been like, hey, this is a child actor. He's maybe 14. His mother died when his mother was an idol. She got killed
mm,
by somebody in the industry. He doesn't know who. He's going into the industry to find out. That's his real motivation. That's all you needed.
yeah,
You didn't need a long, convoluted, like, like the 36-year-old doctor, was born. No, you didn't need any of that. It's like, why do we need this? I'm like,
I,
I just don't get why he felt that that was a good creative choice
you know,
for because essentially you can just wipe that under the rug
mm,
and forget about it because now you have, which is the truth in most isekai. Like once they're in another world, you can kind of for most isekai, their previous lives are just gone.
right.
Like it doesn't really matter. It might come up at certain points. Like I was watching one. This is a good segue into another one. Um, like Dahlia in Bloom,
Mm,
where she keeps having the same recurring nightmare, and the nightmare is actually her death, where she was an office worker who dies at her desk. And, and she's having a conversation with one of the characters from the fantasy world that she's living in now. And he's like, I wish I could be there for you. Why don't we find some magic that will help me enter your dreams and help you? So it's a cool little like, like her previous life pops up,
mm,
but it isn't like it's kind of like that's she uses her memory of things to create things using magic in this world, like a refrigerator or an air conditioner or a blow
mm,
dryer, because she remembers them and she finds ways to make them in this world. So it's a good one where things relate, but like her memories of like the specific like that specific memory only plays out in dreams and she discusses it in a certain situation. But in most isekai, it's like the previous world is like gone. It doesn't even
right.
really matter, and you're now in a fantasy world. Yeah, where they barely commented, where they barely even comment on what happened before.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Weird. So like in the last episode, like the girl, she's like, we're gonna do like we need to raise our profile on YouTube, so we're gonna like show people rooms or whatever. And she ends up like going past the place where the dude was murdered. And so you don't know that they don't know each other is they're who they are. Like he doesn't know that's the girl that I operated on. They're still in the same world, and she kind of has like a panic attack because she's going to the site with murder, and it's like, oh, you're going back to that.
like
What? Like
why?
why?
Yeah,
It brings nothing to the story.
I don't
It
think
brings
so.
nothing to the story.
Yeah,
Um, but that's my argument. Watch it if you want. It's worth watching if you want to get like
that inside
into the
perspective.
in inside perspective, the murder.
Murder mystery type thing. Yeah. Okay.
But they portray mental illness really well.
Yeah, I'll put it in the list. I guess I'll get to it when I get to it, and I'll let you guys. Let's just get longer and longer by day.
Yeah. Um.
How it goes.
Yeah. There's one that I liked. Well, there's one I was kind of disappointed in.
Hmm.
Uh, Soshimin, how to become ordinary. Um,
Okay, I know what you're talking about.
yeah, this creator had done actually he did an anime about a decade ago that like really got me to love slice of life anime.
Hmm.
Like to the point where it was like before that it's like I was straight up like, shonen, sci-fi, horror. Those were the anime that I looked for.
You're
Then this
lying.
guy, yeah, and then this
You're
guy did
lying.
like
You hate
now I hate shonen. Come on.
show.
Let's, we can go we'll talk about that, but not right now. Um but it was like he really like the school festival, like all these
Hmm.
different traditions, and like there was an undercurrent of mystery, and he was kind of like this guy who didn't want to engage in life because it's like I don't have the energy for this, and his sister kind of like essentially like tricks him into like coming out into the world and making friends, and then finding somebody that he wants to spend his life with.
Hmm.
And so it was really well done. It told a really great story. And so um this is kind of like the what with uh the creator of Love is War making Oshinoko.
Hmm.
um I think everybody was expecting something a lot different. Like I was expecting something very different from this one.
Hmm.
But essentially it's like these two wicked smart people who really can't like express how intelligent they are, because people see them as assholes. They're like, you're how do you think you're better than me? How do you think you know more than me? It's like you can walk in here and you right away you have a gauge of the situation. And so because that made them so socially awkward, they've kind of reined that in, and they pretend not to be those people. My problem with the show is that like they get sucked into being, who they don't want to be, but for the stupidest reasons. Not for anything important, not for anything. One of the mysteries is what happened to the girl's pencil case. Another mystery is like, how did the guy make 3 cups of hot chocolate without getting the sink wet? And
Hmm.
it's just like, one of the mysteries is like, it becomes a little bit more like, why did this gang steal this girl's bike? So that gets a little bit more interesting. But for the most part, the most recent episode is like the girl sends him to go buy desserts because she loves desserts. He likes the dessert so much that he's gonna eat hers too. He ends up eating hers too, and the whole episode is him trying to figure out a way to trick her into thinking that there was never a second one. And I'm like,
They made whole episodes out of it.
a
Yeah,
whole episode,
They seem
and
like
then
little comic shorts.
go to the
that's what it
store and buy
feels
another
like.
one.
It's really well written. But it's very much like also like you remember those uh perfume commercials from the 90s where it was like they would have like these artistic poses on different locations and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
So that happens here when they're like
yeah.
discussing their past. Like it's just like these really artsy like cutaways. And I'm like, what am I watching? And so I was kind of like, while the show is enjoyable, it's definitely not anywhere near. Sometimes I wonder if I'm supposed to laugh. Like
Hmm.
if this is him mocking shows like this, or if it's like him making fun of himself, or I'm not really sure like if I'm supposed to watch this and take it seriously sometimes, because I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, this is what this, episode is about. Like, how did the dude make 3 cups of hot chocolate without wetting anything? It's like, yeah, I know. Even Alberto's like, what? Yeah. And I'm like, so I'm kind of disappointed because I was expecting a lot because I love that other show so much that walking into this, I'm like, it's good, it's fun, but it doesn't rise to the level of the previous show like at all. And so,
It's
yeah, that was,
it could be your comfort anime. Or something you know,
You know, Alberto, I got to turn my brain way, way down, like to like really
That's
enjoy.
that's what comforts animes are.
Look, man,
They don't do anything for you, but you still watch them and enjoy them because it's so dumb that you find yourself looking at something that is like,
well, see,
why did they make this?
well, see,
It's just
that's the
that
thing. It's not that dumb. Like I just finished watching Fluffy Paradise.
okay.
That was dumb. That was dumb. You know, she essentially saves the world because she wants to squeeze, fluffy animals. That's literally the premise of this anime.
Oh my
But it
god.
was, like I had fun. I turned off my brain and watched her like save the goblins, save the spiders, save all these, like fantasy creatures just because she wants to like hug a bear or hug a dog and like she's got like spirit animals and everything, and it was just like that was my comfort anime. Like I binged like 6 episodes. I'm like, am I going to remember this in a few years? Maybe not. Was it worth my time? Maybe not. But you know what, I felt comforted. I enjoyed it. With How to Become Ordinary, I expected a lot more from it. So I think I was too mad to
Mhm.
have it be my comfort anime because I'm like, man, you were supposed to be really good. I was really looking forward to this. And I'm like,
Guys, give me
but
1 second.
Fluffy
Uh,
Paradise, man. Comfort anime.
Um. Okay. What else do we have?
Um, there was that I didn't finish uh Pseudo Harem or The Elusive Samurai.
Mhm.
Both of those had really strong starts,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna go back and watch them. We talked about, I think, off air, we talked about Elusive
Yes.
Samurai during the barbecue.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I know that like we were kind of disappointed that it didn't live up to like our expectations. Um,
Um. I still enjoyed the show a lot.
that's good.
Um. There was a definite dip in production. Yeah, first episode.
Yeah.
Like very obvious. And we talked about how that we've noticed that with a few shows.
Mm-hmm.
That is disappointing.
Yeah.
But that aside, I still like the story. Um,
Well, the story was one of the best parts.
yeah,
That
yeah.
first episode, oh my God, I'm blanking on our favorite show, one of our favorite shows this season for Mau Mau,
Um,
The Apothecary Diaries. Like I thought it was going to be somewhere between Heke Story and The Apothecary Diaries.
yeah. And
I
Jack
thought,
mentioned Heke's story as well.
yeah, I thought it was going to be between. I mean, I thought the quality was going to be
Yeah.
between those two, and by that third episode, I was like, oh wow, this is not going to live up to like, yeah,
Mhm.
this is
They
not going to live up
lean.
to the potential.
I think they need to find the balance because I think that first episode was so dark. I think they lean a little too heavily on the humor.
Yeah,
Um,
I agree. That
because
monk guy is like
the
too
monk
much.
guy is already ridiculous. He's overly doting, and you know he's up to something.
He's
But
shady.
he's shady.
He's so shady.
He's shady, but he's really like the only one that's really helping.
Yeah.
So it's like there's something there that we just don't know. So I'm like, I'm willing to see that unfold. And kind of like Oshinoka, oh not Oshinoka. Oh, God, no, not Oshinoka. It's kind of like Slime. We were talking about how we liked seeing how he went out and he started building and bringing in these other nations and stuff. Same thing with this kid. Well, he got, the monk guy gave him like these two retainers. He's like, these are going to be. But then he's like going out and getting other people and, you know, watching him like kind of convince them to join him. I'm like, okay, that's cool. So you got that, and you got some humorous. I mean, I say it's kind of like Golden Kamui because Golden Kamui has a lot of that. It has a lot of humor in it too, but it also has a lot of culture. And I've seen people compare it to the Kingdom show that Jesse liked. Um, and from just reading the description of Kingdom, I haven't watched it yet. But from reading the description of Kingdom, I can see why they make that comparison.
Okay.
So I think it's a good show. I think it's one that's going to get better in season two once it finds its own footing. But it's still a fun
Yeah.
show. I mean, there was it. I thought this was going to be like a top five show of the year for me. It's not. It's not. It might still be in the top 10, but it's definitely not.
Yeah. No.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
What else?
If it had kept up with the level of the first episode,
Yes,
yeah.
it
If it
would.
had
It would
kept
have been.
that the entire way through, I
Yeah,
think that would be contender. Yeah, that would be. It would really. That would have pushed it top to the top five and maybe contender for a top one.
yeah.
Yeah, the best of. Um, what was There's two that I want to talk about.
Hmm.
One of them is Bye Bye Earth,
Yeah.
which is an isekai.
Remember
It
you
that
talking about that when we did the panel.
Yeah. It's So the premise of this show is that essentially she's reincarnated into another world where she's the only human.
Mhm.
And so then that is I really like that premise because I'm like, oh, this is interesting. And it reminded me of that Swordmaster show that me and Jack like. I was reincarnated as a sword.
Yeah.
She reminded me of the protagonist of that one. And this show does a lot of world building really quickly without kind of explaining a lot, but it's kind of fun to watch that as it goes along. And it kind of has a very Final Fantasy plot to it, where you have like specific, like, this is how the swords work, and this is
Hmm.
how magic works, and this is how you have two sides, but it's not like by choice. It's like assigned by birth or assigned by the god, and the god is a gigantic tree, and the swords are an extension of the god,
What
and the
what
god.
show? What
We're
show is
talking
this?
about Bye Bye Earth. It's an
Oh yeah,
isekai.
yeah, yeah. I just
Hmm.
put it.
Yeah.
I just put it in my list too. I saw it too. I put it in my. I know that
Yeah.
you were talking about this one. I think it was
At the convention.
on the
Hmm.
convention. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Jesse yelled at him and said it's not
Well,
good.
because I understand what he's saying. It's very confusing
Yeah.
because they don't stop to explain a lot of things. Things are just kind of happening.
Okay.
Like here's the swords. Why is the sword wood? Why does it turn into steel when you infuse it with magic? It's like, how are they related to the god, who is essentially a tree? And it's like, is there any point to her being human at all? Is there any point to her being the only human in a world full of beast people? It's like, is there any point to this? And it's like, where's this gonna go? And essentially, um is she gonna reach her goal of essentially, walking the earth to figure out where she came from, what her origin is? And it's like, is everything around her essentially just a game being played by the gods, for their own sake? you
Hmm.
know so it was really, really interesting. The last episode took a really dark turn that kind of surprised me, that I wasn't prepared for. And I'm like, whoa. Like, I had to put the brakes on, like it had already like gone in directions that I didn't expect, which I kind of liked, because it's like, okay, this is something different, this is something interesting. You don't see this every day. Like I said, it was like watching a Final Fantasy movie play out, in
Hmm.
that it has its own world, its own rules. And I like that because it makes it very different from most isekai, where you're not playing with the usual fantasy rules or the
Okay.
usual fantasy combat. So that made it really interesting because it plays with music, it plays with like magic. So there's a lot of interesting things going on. But then it takes a really dark, weird turn in like episode 11. And I'm like, what? And like, where are they going to go from here with this? Because it's like, I was expecting one thing, and like, this is not what I was expecting at all, which is like actually kind of good because it keeps you guessing.
Hmm.
But like, they really needed a better title for this.
You don't want it to be one of those things where it just swerves you just for the sake of swerving.
I'm trying to decide whether or not that's what is happening,
Right.
because it does play into what happened in the previous episode. The character that makes a really dark turn, he found out some things about the
Hmm.
world, and so I'm trying to decide whether or not that's why he went in that direction, because it was like I said, a really dark direction that I wasn't expecting, a really dark adult direction that I wasn't expecting from this show, like at all.
Hmm.
And so I'm like, it kind of fits with the theme of what's been going on, because things have been getting progressively darker as the show has gone on, but I wasn't expecting this. So I'm waiting to see like if the next episode kind of redeems the show. But like I said, my biggest problem with this show, I think there's two things. It doesn't explain a lot until much later on, and that title is just terrible. Bye Bye Earth is just Bye Bye Earth sounds like, it's going to be like Bye Bye Earth, I'm going
Right.
off into space. It's going to be a little cheesy thing. This show is anything but cheesy, and it's anything but lighthearted.
This,
Okay, sounds
you know,
interesting.
It's very interesting.
when you talk about title, and I've been thinking about this, um, because this show has been going on since spring. Mission Yozakura family. This should have swapped titles with Spy, and they both would have like worked out better, right?
Okay.
Because this is really about a family of spies, and they're constantly going on spy missions and talking about high society and that sort of thing. So it's like it's not like one mission. It's kind of like really just about this spy family, them doing um and spy family is really based around the mission that Lloyd and Yor has. And there's like this makeshift family because of this mission. Like they need to swap titles. If they swap titles,
It would
it'll
make more
make
sense.
perfect sense.
Yeah.
It'll make perfect sense. Because I was talking about that with Ray Sean. Shout out to Ray Sean. That episode with Ray Sean should be dropping soon on his channel, Our Gap. Check it out. Because he really likes this show. And we both, because I think he read the manga too, and he was like, I like this better than Spy Family. And I'm like, I can see why. And as we were talking, like after we recorded, I was really thinking about it, and I was just like, they need to swap titles. Just swap titles, and it'll be
Yeah.
perfect. I think it'll make the shows even better, just because you know what to expect.
Yeah.
Because I think with the second season of Spy Family, you didn't get as much action. It was very much a slice of life, and we all were pretty much disappointed with it. Um, but it's like if I don't have that title, I'm not, I'm fine. Um, but this was fun. Um, Alberto, you might like this one because there's a lot of action in it.
Is it Crunchyroll or High Dive?
Oh, this is actually a Hulu exclusive.
Hulu?
This is a Hulu exclusive.
Let me see if I have Hulu around here in the computer.
If you don't have Hulu, just let me know. I'll send you my password.
It's just
Uh,
the app. No, I do have Hulu. It's just the app. I'm not sure if I had the app here in the
mm.
computer. There's so many stuff in here. It's just crazy. Just
Yeah.
computer. Once you get a computer, it's like okay, let me download this and let me download this and let me down.
Yeah.
What
That's my phone.
what's it called?
Mission, uh,
Mission.
yeah, Mission, and then Yozakura family, Yozakura.
Okay, I see it. Missing Jessica family.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
it's kind of like a shonen spy show.
Okay.
So what essentially happens is there's this kid and his parents were in a terrible car accident, and he's just kind of on his own, and he doesn't really talk. The only person he talks to is this girl that was his childhood, and situation comes up, somebody tries to attack her or something, and he like kind of defends her, and or am I
Okay.
confused? That was something like that happened, and
Something
so
along those
essentially,
lines.
you're like she has this friendship with him, but she
Okay.
has like an overprotective older brother,
That's
Okay.
the
and
thing.
so
Yeah,
the older brother is like, I'm killing this. He's getting too close to her. And she's like, the only way you're going to get out of this is if you marry. Like we have a
Mm,
we have a system where you can't kill your family.
okay.
And so he's like, all right, we'll get married. But now he's married into this spy family. And it turns out that she is the head of this spy family. And she has like um the spy family has all these incredible abilities, but she doesn't have it. But she has like a special blood type that
Okay.
kind of, makes all of that happen. And she's the head that has that. So they all are protecting her. But everybody, obviously, everybody wants what she has. It's kind of like she has Hashirama cells. You know how the
Mm,
Hashirama cells are in Naruto?
yeah.
She has Hashirama cells. And they're all trying to get it. And so, they're part of this spy network. So sometimes they got to go out on missions, and sometimes their drama's coming their way.
Okay.
This kid, he's trying to level up as a spy, so he helped protect her, and is him ingratiating himself with the family is kind of like the first half of the show, but then the second half, it's action, 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 action.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
he kind of like he kind of becomes great and known in the spy world, and so now it's really oh,
Okay. Okay. I gotta see it. Sounds interesting enough for me too.
it's a good show. We're still in season one, but this went over. This was one of those shows that did two straight seasons. There's going to
What do
be
you guys
24 episodes.
what do you guys think about that? Because I also saw this one on Hulu. The Fable one. It's
Did you
also
watch?
on that.
Have you
No,
watched that one yet?
no. But I did looked at it. It looks
Mm-hmm.
interesting by what it says. It's an assassin basically. They're so good at it that for some reason his
Mm-hmm.
boss tell him, "Hey, make sure for next year, you
Yeah.
kind of like just don't kill no people."
Mm-hmm.
Have
chill
you guys
out. Yeah.
watched that?
Yes, I watched
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Jack.
it.
I think Jack talked about that one, right?
Did he? Yeah, I think he
Somebody
might have watched a couple episodes.
somebody brought it up.
I brought it up. I know I brought it up. I
Oh,
think he might have watched a couple episodes. So it's like you said, Alberto. He is basically a hitman for the Yakuza
Okay.
family, and basically he's been so good at his job. He's killed so many people. They're too hot. He's too hot. So they're like, so his boss is like, hey, look, you've killed a lot of people. It's hot. The streets is hot. I need you to go over here and chill out for a year till things settle down. So, he sends them, a few towns over or whatever. And whoever the boss is over there said, we got a house set up for you. You just be a normal citizen for a year. And so this is a dude that like he has no family. He was raised in the mountains, with the animals, whatever. He's not socially acclimated.
Okay.
He just has this girl that was his partner that is living with him, who they are saying their brother and sister. And so basically, he gets a job at this place, but he ends up getting drawn to situation. The dude that has him checked up in the house, his brother ends up getting into some trouble, and he's like, "Look, I know you're not supposed to be involved in any of this because he's not allowed to kill anybody during this year. I know you're not allowed to get involved in any of this, but like if you don't get my brother, they will kill him. So I need you
Just save
to
him.
get to him first and save him before he gets murdered. And so he's like, oh man, whatever. So and then what happens is one of his coworkers, who's a girl, she ends up getting dragged into the middle of it. So he's not really doing it for the guy, he's doing it to save her. And so now he's kind of pulled out.
So it's like it's like a John Wick situation. He pull out the
Yes.
game for a while,
Yes. Yeah.
but then
Yeah.
a
John Wick meets
situation.
the Equalizer.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But he'll pull him back in, and now he had to like
Hold him back in,
Yeah.
except he can't kill anybody. So he's got to go through this thing without killing people. So he's rigging up
Which
guns,
supposedly he's so good at it, right?
and he's great at it. Like the show is called The Fable because that's his name.
He's Baba Yaga. Yeah.
People do not
Baba
believe
Yaga,
he's real. They think he's an urban legend because he's so good.
Yeah. ¿Cómo se dice eso? El chupacabras. The man in the man in the closet, you know.
Mhm.
Baba Yaga.
So it's a good show. The animation style might throw you off.
Okay.
And
Is
it
it
threw me off
is
a
it
little bit.
is it like an all 90s style
Yeah,
animation?
it kind of looks a little dated.
Okay.
The more you watch, the more it fits like the gritty, unpolished version of the character in the show.
Okay.
I think it becomes part of the setting of the show. But I can see how the style could kind of be a step. Especially,
I mean, I survived Ninja Kamui and stuff.
yeah.
I'll be all right. The Ninja Kamui, the style it was
Jamaal reaction.
And I talked about how disappointing that ended up being.
Yeah, it was very disappointing.
It has such a great start. It has such a great start. It was so good. And Alberto, I used to talk to Rob about this like every week. He'd be like, "Man, did you see it? Did you see it?" And I was like, "Yeah." And it started off so good, and then they just started adding extra. I didn't want the mecha suits.
He became Naruto too. It's like,
Yeah.
you know that I know you. You know that I know you.
Yeah.
It's like, we friends. Don't do this. And then at the very end, his old master is the old guy.
Yeah.
Like, what? Oh no.
It started off
ninjas that became whatchamacallit Gundam.
Yeah. Right. That's what it was. Those ninjas that became Gundams. It's so like the justification for it was it's like ninjas used to be there to serve the Japanese government.
Basically. Yeah.
Basically there's that. But then it's like, well, there's nothing there for them to serve because, there's no disturbance, there's peace, there's everything. And so the main villain, he's like, well, in order for the way of the ninja to continue going, we need to
create our own
the main power in the world. We need to create a conflict ninjas so we can police the world. And it's like, this is lame. Like, why? It just sucked.
Yeah, the premise was really
So whack. That's how you go from ninjas to ninja mechas.
So then they ended up getting involved with this scientist that like he was obsessed with like ruling the world, and he invented these like mecha suits that he would give the ninjas to give them powers. And
I saw it as a Zuckerberg. That guy it's just like Zuckerberg.
He was like Mark Zuckerberg. Yeah.
It's the same thing. And it's like
the anime
Zuckerberg just disclosed this.
What time period does this take?
This is in a modern, it's a modern time period.
Modern time period. Like maybe another 200 years from now, I guess.
It's a modern time period.
But it started really good. Ninja
it started off great.
When he goes berserk on those people, it was just, cool. But then
that's all we wanted.
Then it went into another, because even the love story was good. It wasn't bad.
Yeah.
But when it came into the mecha stuff, it's like, why?
Yeah, there was like
Ain't you guys ninjas?
it
That
was
should be
good.
enough.
I
Yeah.
wanted to watch a ninja revenge plot. So what
You know what?
happened? What happened was, once you're a ninja, you're never supposed to leave. You're supposed to
Yeah.
stay. So what ends up happening is the main character. There's a three-man cell. It's the main character, a girl, and then another dude. So it's kind of like Naruto, Sasuke, and
Sakura.
essentially what it is. What ends up happening is Naruto ends up marrying Sakura, and she leaves, and they are no longer ninjas. They leave the ninja way. They're like, you know what? There's something greater than the ninja way. There's love. There's
Right.
life. Kids. There's so it's like they're trying to convince Sasuke over here, like, hey, there's more to life than just being a ninja and going through things. You have that love triangle there, and he's like, "I were my only friends. I had a childhood. I had no parents. Brought me in, and I was just cool being a dark brooding dude. Y'all made me care, and then you leave me, and now I'm stuck." So I that, and then him wanting to get revenge, I get. The revenge plot was fine, and then they just convoluted it up with all the mecha stuff, and it just made it. I just want to see this ninja throw hands and swords
Yeah.
and knock people down. That's all I want to see. Just
Yeah.
make it
Some
John.
battle,
There's always
some
space for
music.
John Wick. There's always space for the Equalizer. There's always space.
But
There's always space for these shows.
but
Look,
John Wick with mecha equals better John Wick is
They
what they
look.
were
all,
thinking.
I would even be fine if they make the mechas like in third season. Like you have
yeah.
on only one season, you have three plot storyline. You
Mm-hmm.
have the love
Yep.
traitor storyline. That if
Right.
you would have just do that in the whole season and end up by him killing like his wife,
Right.
first season, boom, oh dang. Now second season you get revenge because
Right.
it's in between his brother ninja or friend, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
the end of the season, whoever wins wins. And then on the third season, oh, in reality, he's not the evil guy. The evil guy is the master, old master, who now he wants to incorporate this type of mecha situation. But in this first season, it's just like three power hole. Then you have characters like the hacker lady that she
Yeah.
was a friend of his wife, and
Yes.
I don't know. It was just
Hacker Lady was the friend of the wife, but she was also the partner of the main black detective, the main black FBI agent that was trying to take him down.
look. This is Ninja Kamui. Give me a plot, Edwin. Give me a plot.
If you plot,
Give me a plot. Yeah, let's put it over here. This is Ninja Kamui. Give me a plot.
Just give me a
Let's just
plot.
put it. Yeah, just give me a plot. Just put it in here.
all right.
Give me a plot. Just put
Uh,
it in here. It's Lily. That was Ninja Kamui. It was like too much going on.
wait,
Too much going on.
just
oh my
wait,
god.
wait. They just threw so much at the pot. And then the one character at the end,
Naruto meets John Wick, meets
yeah,
Equalizer
Gundam,
meets
meets
yeah,
Gundam.
Equalizer, meets 51st Day, made
yeah.
friendship, any type friendship movie. It's
Hmm.
no.
Oh my god.
It was,
And then the style doesn't really keeps you entertained either because they go from animation to 3D
yeah, they do. They
to
jump. They do jump.
No.
They do
3D
jump.
to what is the other one? There's another one too that
CGI.
yeah, CGI is just oh,
Wow.
like it was after episode I guess 5 for me it was a hate
Yeah, yeah, about 5, 6. Yeah, it
it was
started
a hate
to.
watch. It was a hate watch. It was like let me just finish it.
And I was so hyped about this show.
When you think it's done, I think it's by episode 8 or 10. I think you think,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah, it
that's
was a
this.
pretty short.
You got 2 more
Yep.
episodes. Like, okay, you could have said, what is the other episodes for?
Then he
They're
started.
And
like, we don't need this.
no, and you have another plot about the cop that is an FBI
Yep.
that he lost his daughter. Then he tried to do better. It's like what? Like okay, I get it. He's trying to be a better person, but come on, man. That didn't happen. Not even on the timeline of the Ninja Kamui. That happened like 15, 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
What are they even like? What is this show?
It should have been called Ninja Stories. That should have been called. Every
Yeah.
episode, different story. That
Oh,
would have been better.
I was so disappointed at the end of it, man.
Yeah,
I
I
was
hate when
so
that happens.
yeah, and you know what? They had the one character, like the black lady with the purple braids, the purple dreads, and her mission. So I get the head like ninja dude. He assigned her to protect the big scientist, and he's like, "This is your mission.
yeah.
You do this." So at the end, you know, the main villain, he's like trying to get rid of the science dude because he's like, "The suits, we really don't need you. I got the suit. I got control." And the science dude was like, "No, you ain't got the keys. I got control of everything." And he's like, "Oh no, I got control of everything. I really do." And so he's like, "All right, take care of him." And she's like, "Oh, your mission is protect him. So am I supposed to protect him or am I supposed to kill him?" He's
Yeah.
like, "Kill him." And she's like,
Another
"My
plus
mission is
story.
protect him."
That's
So
another
then
plus story.
she ends up protecting the dude, so she gets in a fight with the main villain. And part of me was like, "All right, you went out like a G because you went out doing your mission." But then the other part of me was like, "Did you start to fall for this clown?" And then I
That's
was like, and
that's what
it
she
made
did.
me mad because I'm like,
Yeah.
why she would never?
No,
Like,
no,
I
but
understand like the proximity, but my sister,
look,
she
but
should never fall.
you understand? They actually kind of infer that in some of the episodes that they actually are
Yeah,
having intimate relationships.
yeah, they do infer
Um,
that. Imagine like the Colombiana having a relationship with Mark Zuckerberg. That's what it was, and it makes you mad. Because you're just like, yo,
Amazonian level type female. Like she's built up
yeah,
for fighting. She's like bulked up type, and then if she just for the nerdy guy,
like
but
a
she's a
black Wonder
trope.
Woman, a
Yeah,
black Wonder Woman falling for Mark Zuckerberg. Never.
What's
which is
that
a
character?
trope in anime. It's a trope in anime. Big bulky women fighting for nerdy guys, but at the same time, if she lasted 30 seconds as a fighter, it's like why you even did this? Like,
Right? Because she didn't have a suit.
yeah,
She was giving him hands without a suit. And then he was like, "Well, I got a suit." And I'm like,
that's
"Oh, this sucks. Why'd y'all play her like that?" At that moment, I was done with the show.
You're like, no more.
Like I was already mad with the mecha suits, but as soon as she died, I said, "This show sucks."
You're
And
like, why am
like
I watching this?
I got mad. The show hype bombed me.
Yeah.
The show hype bombed me.
a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it
was
did
I
me
was
too.
that
Yeah.
was
It's
that
kind
was
of sad
upsetting.
because you really like this one to start
I
with.
did the first
Yeah.
5 episodes.
Yeah.
He was on top of me every other
Yeah.
weekend. Have
Yeah.
you
Watch it.
what?
Watch
Have
it.
you watched it? Have you watched it?
Watch it.
Like the first episode is like that I haven't done anything when he stopped. It's like maybe I'll just do it now because
Mhm.
he now wants to leave me alone. Whatnot, right? When I watched it, I was like, nah, this ain't it, bro.
See,
And
Man,
that's where
we have
that's my
had a lot of ninja animes,
yeah.
and we have opposed to say, hey, a ninja should be this and this. And we have a lot of
Yeah.
ninja movies too that we can identify how a ninja should be. So when you're talking about anime, you have animation, you have the ability to draw something great. And with the programs that we have right now for animation, we ain't talking about the 90s. We're talking about,
Right.
2024 animation that really looks good. It has good, you can give them good good light, good color, so something really nice. It ended up
Hmm.
in 3D, CGI,
and I think it always
black
depends on
stories.
it always depends on the studio and
Yeah.
how much they can
What
pull
studio
off.
was this? I don't even remember the studio. That's
I
how.
don't
I
I don't know either.
don't
On
know. I
Hulu,
know
yeah.
it's a Toonami exclusive.
Okay. Well, even in Failure Frame, they have a lot of 3D. A lot of the monsters are 3D, and some of them don't look that great.
But it
Um,
works.
it
It
does,
works.
yeah. And that one
Because
it
they're
works.
trying to this one the monsters are the ones that they're using the 3D on it because of how grotesque they are.
Hmm.
They're catastrophic type level monster. That's how You know, even when he's doing his stuff, sometimes they kind of like do it for the animation. But it kind of works. You know, it kind of goes into that. It kind of works a little bit. And the ones that I just started seeing, the Demon Lords, was a human. It has 3D animation, but it also works. It kind of goes into the pace of battle animation. You know, why they
Okay.
using it? I guess they don't want to do what they did with uh, b- uh, shit, I forgot Black Clover. You know, a Black Clover battle animation that sucks completely.
Oh, it got so it broke down
It's
so
just,
bad,
it's just like they
so
did the
bad.
battle animation. They just give it to a kid. Hey, just
Yeah,
just put this stuff in here.
like here's some crayons,
Yeah,
here's some paper,
and then do this, and then
and
that's the battle animation.
I couldn't believe that they were legitimately doing that in a studio produced anime. Like I'm like, is this a joke?
Made
Is
up.
this it, yeah.
They did that for one of the episodes. Do you remember Naruto? I don't know if you have seen Naruto, but one of the episodes where he was fighting pain. It was, I think, 1 or 2 episodes. They tried to do that battle animation, and that episode got so disliked that they had to uh
Reanimated.
Yeah.
reanimated it to the original one. Not only that, but supposedly they fired the guys that were doing the current animation to
Mhm.
the old ones, and they had to call them back. It's like, no, we need you back. Don't worry about it. So it was just a
Wow.
kind of controversy back in then, and I don't know how it survived on Black Clover. To be honest, I'm tired of it.
Yeah, I don't know how the show kept on after that because that especially that one where he transforms, where he gains all that when he's battling the witch. It
Whole
was
thing, and
that
you can't even differentiate between what is the background, what him,
no,
nothing.
it broke down so bad. I'm like, why would they? Where's their budget for this? Where's their like
No, that's not there.
animation budget? You know, it's
No,
like
that's
save the money. You know, like all the food that that one little chubby girl is dreaming about. You know, draw that with a crayon.
correct.
Don't
Yeah,
draw like the biggest battle scene that you're having in this episode or in like the last 5 episodes. Don't draw that with the crayon. It was like moments where we were talking about Elusive Samurai, where the animation just started to break down, and you're just like, what's happening? It's like,
the,
why are they doing this?
the same thing happened with the New Gate. Last 2 or 3 episodes of the New Gate
Mm-hmm.
isekai thing. The
Yeah.
same thing. It was like this isn't the first drawing that they had on it. It's like the studios itself are getting really sloppy, really lazy when it comes to it. They hooked you already. You had their viewership. Okay, now I'm gonna give
Wasn't
you.
there? Didn't we read an article about this? I
I
think
think
Uh,
so.
somebody. Yeah, there was an article about this. There was a specific show that this
oh,
happened
send,
in.
send
Yeah.
it to me because I want to read it because it's like I feel it. I feel like it's happening more and more and more, and they get into a comfortable
Definitely.
zone. It's like now we're anime, now it's mainstream. Now we can do whatever, and I know I'm not gonna let them slide. I'll be honest. I
Well,
can't.
it's
I'm
very
thinking.
similar.
I'm
Huh?
assuming it's coming down to budgets. It's coming down to budgets, and just so I looked at Ninja Kamui was produced by E&H Production Company. This is a Japanese animation studio that was founded in 2021 by former MAPPA director and animator Sung Hoo Park. He is the dude that did um he did
Jujutsu Kaisen, I
the
guess.
Jujutsu Kaisen Zero movie. He was the
Okay.
director of that. Directed some Jujutsu Kaisen episodes. He was the key animator for Terror in Residence and Yuri on Ice.
Mm.
He
So how he
directed.
go? How he go from this to that? That's
You know how he did. He probably made a lot of money with Jujutsu Kaisen, and he was like, "All right, I'm about to do my own studio." But then when you have your own studio, you gotta hire employees, gotta hire, you gotta do the studio. So that was a
But wouldn't you
that was
say that?
a
Wouldn't you say that CGI and 3D animation is more expensive than animation itself?
no, because you're not paying somebody to do that. So
So
I
he
So
think
just
you're
it's
basically do.
you're paying the programmers to do it,
right,
but you're
but
not animating every cell. It's like
right,
it's
Mhm.
it's
And you don't have draw. You don't have people who draw the things, and they
right.
have
mm,
So it's like,
animators at the same
yeah.
time.
and it's like I don't know, like this is another thing that Oshinoko showed that I thought was interesting. Because like the first season, like I said, they came out with this show, this popular manga, and it was the show like was paying. And the girl that did the show that they were making into a play, she was like, "Well, how could you let them do that to your stuff?" And whatever. Because this girl, she does everything, she draws everything out herself. And it's like, what they were saying was, well, you have these people that are, the key artist. Then you have people that's doing line drawings. You have people that's doing the background. You have people that's doing um, this person's good at doing facial features. This person's on in a facial feature. You have these people that like it's animation, but you have the key animator that's doing the big stuff, but then you have other people doing all the other little things with the setting and the line art and all that. So it's like I get how and for her it was like she had the grind of like them expecting her to come out with something every week. It's like I'm doing all the art, I'm doing all the story. It's taking forever. And ladies, like, you need to hire people like them to do that smaller background stuff so you can get this out in time. And so, I mean, it's the same way with these animes. It's just like we have to hurry up and produce this because we got this other thing going on.
Hmm.
If you're a studio like Mappa, you got Jujutsu Kaisen over here, and then you got this big property over here, and I got to come out with this every week. It's not like we're doing it in bulk and
Yeah.
putting it out. This is a weekly show, so we're doing this show. All right, we're done Friday, air it Sunday. All right, now we got to work on the next episode. It's done Friday, air it Sunday. So it's like I can see how it's like quality drops because I mean we saw what were they? Was it Mappa where the animators were like on strike
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah.
something like
I
that?
think so.
I think it was with Attack on Titan, if I
It
believe.
might have been Attack on Titan. I think some of
Bleak.
the Boruto
I'm not really sure.
artists, maybe Bleak, like things were getting paused because these people like we're overworked. We're working
I
70,
saw
80 hours a week.
I
It's
saw on Reddit
nonstop.
and it's true. Yeah, I saw
Mhm.
Redditors
Yeah.
doing signatures to tell Mappa to take it easy with them. To
Yeah.
be, like, hey, let them
Rest.
we're
Yeah.
waiting to we are willing to wait if you let them rest.
Right.
That's how it came to be like, hey, the actual fans save the writers and the animators because if
Mhm.
it was Mappa was just whipping them over.
Yeah.
It,
So I
it's got
mean,
it's
and
gotten
that's where those I got you. But that's where I could see where these dips in quality come because it's like we just can't.
yeah.
Mhm.
We have all systems go in these first few episodes, but we're just overburdened, and we'll throw some CGI in, throw a little this in there. That'll give us time to finish up everything else we're doing. But it's like we're seeing this isn't the quality, so it's
I mean,
like
but my whole thing is that when it works because even SLF has some CGI in 3D and it worked.
mhm,
Just
yeah,
I feel like that when you are too dependent on it, that's when
right.
your projects kind of diminish.
And I think it depends on the property because Shangri-La Frontier, it's a video game. Like you're going to have that graphical. You need that graphical stuff.
Hmm.
I think it works for a show. But then like a show like we said, like Elusive Samurai, like you don't. I don't CGI just make it look weird.
Yeah.
The 3D stuff just
Gotta
makes
check.
it look
I
weird.
gotta watch it because I haven't watched Elusive yet.
I think that anime has gotten so popular that you're seeing a lot of similarities between the anime industry and the gaming industry,
Yes,
where they're
I
overworking
agree.
these people. The production
Hmm.
values are slipping because they just don't have the budgets. They just don't have the time. They're making these people do the crunch. and it's like you can't like. I think they're just trying to produce way too much. They need so much content, but at the same time, it's like you said, you have these AAA studios like Mappa, where like some of the projects are failing because they're just pay people more, hire people
Yeah,
more, get more people in the industry, because I mean that's growing pains. They just can't keep up with the demand or the level of quality because they just don't have the resources, and it's like, or they're being greedy. Pay people more,
I
get more
agree.
people, invest in like more like educational programs so that you have more animators coming into the industry because the jobs are there. I mean, the demand is there, you know?
And
yeah,
that's probably what they don't want to do.
No.
And like
no, they don't
because
want to.
because they don't want to spend that money on those because now you have to promise probably a job in your corporation to that little kid or to that adult that you said that you was gonna I think, which is I believe it's great. That's a thing to incentivize new generations. But like you said, studios are greedy, and if we could go compare it to gaming, Electronic Arts, you
We
got
have to
that
give up. Yeah.
publisher, got
Yeah,
that
Yeah.
publisher that is just putting garbage out there. Too many, what should I call it, microtransactions and stuff like
yeah,
that, which
We're
is
slapping a new title on the
yeah.
same
same
game
thing.
with
Don't
like, hey,
be,
look. Yep. Yep.
yeah, it's crazy.
It is. That is crazy, dude. And
And
I
like you
don't.
said, Mappa's got so many different things. Mappa's got Campfire Cookie. They got Chainsaw Man. They got Hell's Paradise. They have Vinland Saga. They have Jujutsu Kaisen. We're talking like huge property, back to back, back to back to back. That you're
Yeah.
trying to turn this stuff out on. You gotta. It's just you're asking a lot for these animators in order to come out with quality, which is why I can understand why like Jack is so in on Studio Trigger because it's like we're gonna come out with this, we're gonna take our time. You know you're going to get quality. We're going to give you quality. We're not worried about throwing. We're not worried about getting the rights to every AAA property. We're going to give you quality,
Yeah.
and it's like you appreciate.
Yeah.
It.
Because they don't put out so many projects, but the
Mhm.
projects that they do put out are always, they're always quality products.
It's true. It's true. All right, guys. So sorry to interject a little bit here. It's been great to me. I think I'm gonna head out.
All right, man.
I've been up since 6:20 in the morning.
You've had a long day, my friend.
Yeah, so I'm a little bit tired now. This has been great. Um,
Thanks for joining, man.
hey,
Thanks
reach
for
out to
joining.
me. Like I said, reach out to me any other day too as well. If I'm here, I'm available. I can do it. And I was looking at the time. It's been
Mm,
like 5 hours already, 4 hours,
it goes
and
fast.
we were just discussing this thing. Uh, this is the type of things that I was telling my future wife Shannon, as you guys
Mhm.
know
Your
already.
fiance, yes.
Let's throw a
Yeah,
shout out to Alberto real quick, man. By the time you guys see this, Alberto will officially be a
already
married
married.
man
Yes.
with his
Hopefully.
lovely wife. Congratulations to you both.
Thank you, thank you. Um,
If there's one show that you would recommend for people to watch this season, what would it be?
on
And I'm
this
pretty
season
sure.
one show,
Hmm.
um, oh, that's definitely a hard one. Uh, one show that I would recommend people to watch in this season.
I know what show you should say, and if you don't say it, I'm throwing you out.
Let me see, let me see. I would definitely say, I don't know if this part of this season, to be honest, but I would say definitely say Fairly Frame. Fairly
Alien Frame
Frame.
was this season.
Yeah, I like how it started. I like how it's going. I like how it's maintaining the curse of this story. This guy is just built for revenge. I like how he is still isekai, classroom isekai, but if even as a classroom, you can see that he still has some morals but he has a dark background that allow him to focus on what he wants. And I like how he manipulates persons to believe that he's nice, but he's actually like, nah, this is not what it is. But you can also
Mhm.
see his other side persona with the people he's trying to protect, like the elves and the little leopard. Like, hey, I'm gonna give you an opportunity. This is what you got. You don't got nothing else. If you're not here by the time I said that is it, it's done. You know.
Mhm.
So I like how he's pretending that too, and I hope that if they do come up with something better on the next season too as well
Mhm.
to keep us interesting, keep it rolling, keep it like hey, this is what I what we want for you guys to see and put out there as a studio and as an anime.
All right, yes, sir. We will
All
have you
right, guys,
on
thank
again.
you. Have a good night, and I'll talk to you guys later. Okay,
Sure,
appreciate you.
Alberto, man. Take
If
care, dude.
thank you. And for y'all watchers, if you guys have not start to watch this podcast, yes, this is it. This is where you get your anime stuff information. So follow 950 podcasts, and I'll see you guys later.
Take care, man.
Love. I love them. When you have any more shows that you watched?
The only other one I think I mentioned Dahlia and Bloom. I think that's a
Hmm.
good isekai. The only other one this season was Alia sometimes speaks her
Right.
feelings in Russian or hides her feelings in Russian. I think that's the only other one this season where it's like I wanna like give a shout out to. I think that my teen romantic comedy is not what I expected is a better version of this
Hmm.
because it's very similar to that show. It has enough going on for it where it's a good show to watch and something to recommend. I think it's
Hmm.
strong enough. I just don't think that it finds its footing the way other shows were. It's worth watching. I think it's worth watching because they keep you on your toes.
Hmm.
It's always switching things up. It never stays. It gives you tropes,
Right.
but it never gets bogged down in them. It's
Hmm.
always all right. We're gonna move on. It's like we gave you your trope. We're gonna move on to the next thing, and it manages to not be as stereotypical. It's like
Hmm.
I always feel like I don't feel like I'm watching a bunch of tropes strung together with weak characters. I feel that the characters are much stronger than the tropes that they're surrounded by.
Hmm.
And so that's why the show a lot, manages to be watchable
Okay.
to the point where it's like I can recommend it. I could say, hey, watch this. It's never going to be what you expect it to be. And it's going to keep you guessing and on your toes. And you're not going to see some of the things coming. Um, there was like a certain amount of fan service
Hmm.
that I wasn't expecting, but it doesn't get bogged down in that. It's not like that's the point of the show or that's like, this is just something that happened. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Um, Same thing with the other tropes, like, the sister loves the brother, or like there's a rivalry between like the sisters, and there's a
Hmm.
rivalry between the brother and the sister, and so there's a lot of different tropes that come into play, but the show manages to be original enough and different enough where you're like, oh, okay, I can watch this, but it never manages to become something like, I think, like I said, like My Teen Romantic Comedy or Love Is War, where
Hmm.
those shows become like the example or the model of
Right.
stuff where like it influences like other shows.
You
I
think of
don't
romance, you're thinking these
those shows, yeah, or
those
even
shows.
Toradora, yeah,
Dora, Horimiya. Yeah.
yeah. This show doesn't. This show manages to be original enough and break away where it can be like a contender
Hmm.
for like if you were gonna do a fight, if you're gonna do a bracket, you could put this show in with those shows.
One of Lynn's brackets.
Yeah, yeah, and of
One
course
of Lynn's Jack
I
Back
wasn't gonna bring
podcast
that up.
bracket.
I wasn't gonna bring that up, but yeah. But yeah, this if you could, it's original enough and it's different enough, and the characters are strong enough where you can
Mhm.
put it in one of those brackets, but it would lose.
It'll be a low
It
score.
would lose out, yeah,
Yeah.
because the characters, the situations aren't funny enough and the characters aren't like it's not they don't do anything where you're like, oh, I'm gonna remember that, like 5, 10 years later on down the line.
Right.
It doesn't break that model. It manages to break out of the tropes, but it doesn't manage to break the mold. But it's worth watching.
Above average.
Above average, yeah.
Above average.
Above
That's
average.
fine. There's nothing wrong with above average. That's good.
Mm-mm.
Nothing wrong.
Yep.
Have I watched
Anything
any?
else you got?
Um. Oh, I forgot this one. Netflix. I started watching, and I need to finish, and I kind of don't really know. Rising Impact season 2.
Rising Impact?
This is a show. So they came out with the first season like maybe a month or two ago.
Okay.
So this is like shonen sports show. So this did. I think I mentioned it
I think you may have. It's starting to
before. I
sound
think I
familiar.
mentioned it before.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't know if I mentioned it here or if I mentioned it. But anyway, there's this kid who lives in like the countryside of Japan, and he's obsessed with playing baseball, and he can hit the baseball the furthest. And for whatever reason, some lady that is a golfer comes from some golf tournament, and it's like, hey, I have a staying in a room here, which I very odd. I don't know how this. But she sees them playing baseball, and she's like, well, she's talking to the kids, and he's like, my goal in life is to be the person who can hit the ball the furthest. Very shonen.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, if you want to do that, you should be playing golf. And so he lets her get a swing of his, golf club, and he hits it really far into the mountains. She's like, oh, you're good. How old are you? And he's like, and he's like, oh, well, when you get to be like 12, come look me up. I live in Tokyo. I'm like, you gotta play. Then he like goes into his grandfather's house. He's like, I want to play golf. And his grandfather is like, okay. So then he like sends him off to go play to go live with this girl that he just met a week ago.
Okay.
But it's just like this one lady that you met for 5 hours, and she's like, "Yeah, come look me up." So he arrives at her door, and he's knocking, and she's like, "What are you?" And he's like, "I'm hey." She goes and she like just she's like a good. She's like a good golfer. She's doing the tour. She wins sometimes, and she basically gets to a point where she's like, "I've taught you all I can. If you want to learn more, you need to go to this golf." So he goes into this golfing school, and now he's starting to get, because he can already hit the ball far, but he doesn't have the finer aspects of the game, like putting, using irons and all. So it's just basically a shonen show about this kid that
Plays golf.
he wants his main goal is to be the person that hits the ball of, so like he's the world's greatest driver. But now he has to learn the more nuanced aspects. So season one was, him trying to he got into the school, and the big arc was there's this big tournament with like their sister, and they're all competing to get on the team to be get on it. Now we're in season two. That tournament we're going to out and all. So I mean it's I just watch it. I'll tell you what, I was going through Netflix and I'm like, I need to watch a Netflix show, and this show popped up, and I was like, it because this is in the season and I need something for this season for Netflix. And
Yeah,
So
tell
I
me about
watched
it.
it, and I'm like, it's not bad. It's not bad. Blue Lock is a lot better. Not bad. It's just he's just so young. So there's a lot of like childlike humor in there.
Okay.
So it can be a little like, okay, yeah, all right. But it's a solid. Don't go out of your way to watch it.
Okay.
Um, you're into sports or golfing, it might be a show for you. But aside from that, you're not.
You're like, no.
I mean, I'm not going. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's just I don't think there's a big audience for something like this.
Okay. All right,
Yeah.
man. I'm gonna head out now.
All right. What's your one recommendation from the season?
My one recommendation, I think that Wistoria, I think if people were
Story.
gonna watch anything, I like Failure Frame, but I think that
Mhm.
Wistoria is a more accessible anime. I
Yes.
think the animation's better. I think the story's better. I think that there's more characters, and I think they're developed up a little bit better. I
Hmm.
think they could have done. I think they could have spent more time on the characters, but I think the animation, the action, the story, the characters that you do have are really interesting. I think if you like Harry Potter or if you liked Mashal
Yeah.
from last
Hmm.
season, I
Yeah.
think that you'll love this. It's really well done, and I think that if you're a Harry Potter fan, you'll like this.
Are you predicting this one to be a big show,
Not really, not really.
or you think it's going to be kind of under the radar?
I think it's going to be under the radar. I don't think it has the. I think a lot of people are going to like it, but I
Hmm.
don't think it's going to rise to it's not. I don't think there's anything this season that rises to the level of like other shows. I don't think anything's going to escape this season and become like the breakout. I don't. I think that if Pseudo Harem had a better title, I think yeah, I think that one
You and
might
Jack
be.
definitely discussed that.
Yeah, I think that might be one of the breakout ones this season. But I don't really see anything this season where people are going to be like, talking about it like next year or like, hey, look, I'm really looking forward to the second season of that.
Hmm.
But I think that like my recommendation for a lot of people is, like watch Wistoria because it's so much it's fun. That and I think Jack's I parry everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think that
That's
will. I think a lot. I think people will have fun watching that one too.
Mhm.
What about you?
I was gonna say Wistoria.
Okay,
Um, I agree. I think this is one that like
it's that
I
good
think
sweet
I
spot in the
think the
middle.
anime fans will love this.
Hmm.
I think if it were on a bigger platform where the casuals would see it, if this was on a Netflix, I think this would be a monster.
Yeah,
Um, but with it being on Crunchyroll, I think it's a hit. But I think it's not kaiju.
mm-mm,
It's not kaiju.
mm-mm.
Um, but I think it has a lot of potential to be like a breakout. It might be one of those things where it might take till season 2 or 3 for people to really catch on. Um, I'm with that.
I
And
definitely, yeah, I
then
think it has the potential to do that. Yeah,
I agree. I agree. And outside of that, man, I think the Hulu exclusives, the Fable and Mission Yozakura family, they're still going strong from the last season. Check them out. I like and off brand stuff. Hulu's starting to like churn out a lot of um content.
yeah. It looks like
And they
they're finally fighting they're
yeah.
finally finding their footing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that recently they get like a lot of older high dive stuff.
Okay.
So like they have Eminence and Shadow, but they only have, or they have like older on High Dive. It's now. I'm interested to see like who owns High Dive, if there's some sort of partnership between the two. Um, like it's I'm just interested. Ochinoko season 1 is on.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, all right, I'm going to keep my eye on to see like, all right, when does iPerry every is it going to move over to Hulu? How long does it take for it to run over here before it's over? Sort of thing.
It might be a studio thing. The
It could
studios
be
might, yeah, the studios might have a deal with High Dive and a deal with Hulu.
Hulu. Yeah,
Yeah, so that they're not, so that you can get it on multiple platforms. I can see why Crunchyroll wouldn't, because if Crunchyroll, if most of that's been being produced for Sony exclusively,
right,
I could see why those shows aren't in other places.
right.
But I think that would depend on the studio
I
producing
agree.
the anime. Yeah.
So I'm definitely going to do some research into that. I'll
Okay.
let you all know when I find out.
Cool.
That is it.
All right, man.
Great talking to you, man.
You too, man. Where's the baby?
Sleep.
Ah, man.
Sleep. She went down around I think like 9.
Okay.
She had a long.
Okay. I have voted for her
Thank
a
you.
couple of times. Yep.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Mhm.
Everybody vote for baby Marley for baby of the year. We were kind of excited about it, but then I realized that you could buy votes and they're really pushing buy votes. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't
I mean, they're
care.
donating it for charity, so I get it.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's
yeah,
kind of like yeah,
yeah. Because at one point my mom was like, my vote isn't going through. It's not letting me submit. And she like submit and get the like Facebook thing. And I'm like, no, mom, like if you look on top in like small red letters, it says it submitted. But after you submit, it takes you right to like
the
buy
donate pay.
to
Yeah,
donate page and it says submit on the bottom. So you're like click it like, hey, but it's like, no, you'd already submitted. That's if you want to buy.
yeah.
You know, again, this was just something we did on a whim. Just, you know, we had the little picture, like baby of the year thing. We'll print it out, we'll put it in a frame. Hey, look, we interested round 2 or whatever. It's just
That'll be cool. It's a nice memory.
it's a nice memory. I would like to win. Jessica Alba, if you want me to win, I would not mind you throwing me a vote.
That would be nice. Yeah.
That would be. We win, you'll see us in Good Housekeeping. Whatever.
All right, man.
But
Love you, bro.
peace, man.
Thank you guys for tuning in to the 950 Club. This has been another great episode.
Absolutely.
Yep. All right, man.
All right. Okay. All right. Um, guys, I'm gonna stick on for another minute or two, just to talk to you all. I want to give you an update. If you are following us on any of the socials, you will see that we put out a message saying that podcast is on definite hiatus. The status of the 950 Club is still kind of in the air, but um, I just want to keep it. So there's no like tension between any of us. We all get along great. We had a fantastic uh, panel at Fan Expo. Thank you again, Fan Expo, for giving us in Chicago. It was phenomenal. We did record the footage. Jesse recorded it on his phone. If we can find a way to get that, I will get it uploaded to YouTube because it was a time. But in regards to the podcast, essentially what's happening is Jack has decided to take. the podcast recording. Again, no problems, no tension. There's just a lot going on for him right now, and he's just not in the head to record. And issue that we face with that is Jack carried a heavy burden for the podcast, and we appreciate Jack for it. We've said it before, and we'll say it again. Jack, he was the editor, so every episode that we put out, it was because of his editing. He has the editing skills and know-how. So if there's anybody that needs any sort of audio edited for a podcast or for an advertisement spot or anything, get in touch with Jack, or you can get in touch with any one of us. We'll over to Jack. We have a portfolio of however many episodes we have of his work. So Jack was our editor, and he also ran our socials, and he also had all the recording equipment, mics, whatever the little box called. He had software. Um, he carried a heavy burden for us, um, and he invested in podcasts. So I can understand him needing. Um, we did Edwin and I again. We did absolutely offer to take some of that burden off of him, but you know, there's with the socials we could and other things, but we don't. I don't, as you all know, my family has grown, so I just have the time to sit and learn the ins and outs of editing, or the time to sit down and listen to the episode I would have previously. I did have Jack do it at one point, but with Moose, then I lost my notes that I used to have, and so Jack has given us his blessing you on with the podcast. Again, this was idea that was birthed when they was we always talk anime, and when in wanting to do something, and Jack was off getting educated in engineering. Matchup for both. I came along, I always watched. They're my friends, known each other for years, however long it's been. So, if you guys know, I listened to their first couple episodes, and I believe in episode 3, and I was a guest whenever I could get in, and after that, I my schedule for it. So, I personally have a little hesitancy doing this without Jack, not because we can't do it. It's his baby. So, um, we're still trying to figure out what we're going to do. Uh, what I can say is that I am personally committed to making sure that all the content that we have recorded will say is that it will not be of the quality that it was previously. In this episode, we did a lot of talking about animation quality and how the quality was high for the first few episodes, and then unfortunately that made again I don't have the time or the skills to edit the episode. So there's definitely going to be a dip in quality, but um, there are a number of episodes from their first season that has not been released on YouTube. I run the YouTube. I upload everything um, on there. So there are a bunch of episodes from season 1 that I need to get on YouTube. All the other stuff that we've recorded um, for season 3 that hasn't been out yet. I'm definitely committed to get that stuff out and upload it. So I'm going to eventually get a hard drive over to Jack, and he's going to transfer all that stuff. I'm going to upload that onto YouTube um, when I can, as frequently as I can. I want to get at least one, get all the information, and there are a number of shows that we record and that were not released to our podcast feed. I want to keep that up too, so I'm going to take up that. We're going to keep the podcast feed going. I want to release that stuff to the podcast feed as well, and then anything that we've recorded here on Zoom, which we've had a couple episodes that we recorded on Zoom that did not get moved to the podcast feed, and all of our rest content that we have recorded with has not been put on the podcast feed. So it moved to migrate the rest of the feed as well. So in terms of what it looks like moving forward, stay tuned. Stay tuned. Um, might continue. There might be a rebrand. We might step indefinitely. There's still no firm decision. I personally waffle back and forth on whether I want to do it. I know Edwin wants to continue it. Um, at Alberto on a he's a willing guest. We had Jesse, we have Kyle, we have Mark, we have a number of people that we've connected with. Again, I recorded with not too long ago for Anime Podcast. We want to collaborate with him. So we'll see if we continue on. We'll see how it's going to work. But if we do, it'll definitely be over. So there will be a slight, um, again, in audio quality. Uh, we will keep you. We will keep you tuned in. We're still going to shoot get panels at all the conventions moving forward. So, if we do get a panel, Jack will definitely be there. He's a very important part of this podcast, and much as we enjoy doing the podcast, friendship. And if he needs to step away, he needs to step away. If Jack ever decides to come back, I can guarantee you the podcast. If he decides to come back as a guest or whatever, he's always welcome if we're recording. Again, he gave us his blessings to continue on. We might not be tuned. If we continue, I will let you know. And thank you for continuing to listen to us, to give your comments. It's appreciated. And we're just fans and friends. We're friends that like to spend time with each other and like to talk this stuff. And, we you. And the one thing that I said to them from the beginning was it was Edwin did a lot of the cover art in the beginning. Cover art in the beginning. This was a way for him to practice art. It was a way for his audio engineering. But the one thing that I constantly was if it's no longer fun, then it no longer. And it, as much as Jack likes to talk to it, now's not the time for it. We respect it. We thank you for all that you've done for us as a podcast host, editor, and most important friend. This friendship will always continue. And this isn't goodbye. This is a see you later. And this is, more importantly, a thank you, Jack. So, thank you for time to watch this episode, and thank you for taking the time to listen in on this very long after show. But I thought it was important to let you all know the future of the 950 Club. And like I said, we will definitely do it. Thank you and good night.